topics, so I appreciate it. But here's what we're trying to do going forward. We want to grow this audience to people who need to hear content like this, and so we need your help. How can you help us? That's a fantastic question. Be sure to make sure you hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell for all of the content that we have, particularly Super Sundays. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you invite somebody to Sir Hale Speak Super Sundays. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to have a good time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to the show.
Go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OG, oh no. I OG, apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OG, oh no. I OG, apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. Countdown, levitate, going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate, on time, never late. I grind, celebrate, no pump fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day, champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now I'm stepping up to home. Like straight out the sandlot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OG, oh no. I OG, apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OG, oh no. I OG, apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. Smile good, skin clear, this here my year. Hey, look up here, this here my tier. Same fit 4 days, I grind 4 ways. I play no games, all me, no blame. On the wave, my own wave, can't stop my shine. In the lane, my own lane, can't stop my grind. 40 yard in the V12 and like 1.5. At 19, I cleared 19 in a month, no lie. Oh God. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam, blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Yo, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OG, oh no. I OG, apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees, go dummy, go beast, oh no. I go beast, go deep, I OG, oh no. I OG, apply pressure, put heat, oh no. Put that 500 degrees, oh no. 500 degrees.
Young is coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Yeah, skirt. I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Young is coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand out, they want us to split the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flipped my pie, really did that 180. Yeah, skirt. I flipped my pie, really did that 180.
Who's that gon' tell me I can't do it? Better be on time with my bankroll. Talk fat, no ball cat, no lit word. Routine like clockwork, my wrist word.
I flourish the cook, got no roof on it. I'm taunting, I'm all in the moment. Everything lit, I don't miss. Till someone get John on the line, say the invoice is coming. I'm thumbing through stacks of that cold ball. They egging me on, so I'm going off. I got them mad, I show off. They treating my life like it's no law. I never flex above my means. I spit the cream on my tribe, don't I? Don't bro me, don't know me, you not regime. To the one with the condom, my eye is on it. Yeah, I see you move through the place, they precaution, they snaking, they seeing me. Money tree, wake up the royalties. I got a queen, yeah, she go with me. She making me feel like I'm royalty. It's probably cause we royalty. I just got fresh with the golden piece. Shrug, show the emoji, okay. You know it's me, diamond soul dancing, singing like Jodeci. 10 out of 10 every time till they notice me. What you thought I was supposed to be. Ain't nobody close to me. Granted, my hits touch the billboards, and they printing my face on the billboard. They envy my drip, I'm enlightened. You should let go of that hate, but you feel more. I make them rage every time they get flame when they hear what I say, coming straight from the source, yeah. I come a long way from the coast by the shore, my boy, I'm enjoying this. Young kids coming to you live from a place where nobody else know to take it. They hand up, they want us to spit the pie, right? Cause they realize that we gone crazy. Yeah, I flip my pie, really did that 180. Yeah. I flip my pie, really did that 180.
Who's that gon' tell me I can't do? Better be on time with my bankroll. Talk fat, no ball,
And now, your host, Sir Hale Speaks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Sir Hale Speaks Super Sunday. This is Lost in Translation, and I'm being important God about the best by Black David, also known as CBN. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I will give you guys an announcement that Sir Hale Speak is supposed to join this broadcast tonight because he has some exciting news he wanted to share, but he asked me to go ahead and share it. How would I say this? Lost in Translation, you gave this show a different type of flair that he never seen before. And he realized, like, yo, you really got that style, you got that look, you got the hook for it. What I'm hearing from him, he believes Super Sunday is actually meant for you to run going forward. Because he, based on what he told me from last week's episode, it showed that you have what is required to make the show a great hit. He wanted to support you in your channel, so this show will be part of your show as well, your own platform as well. So I don't know how Soy Hale going to have it done, but maybe we'll do it from here going forward. But you broadcast from here at your own platform. Because I will say this, you got the skill, you got the talent, you can pull it off better than most folks I've seen so far. So I'm here to deliver the message. Yes, I am CBN Tech Talk, also known as Black David, also known as Bear Paw. As my kid trying to get annoying before I start bringing Bear Paw to their behind, I'm the engineer for Soy Hale Speak on Sunday and the Black Men Unfiltered Network. So until then, let the show continue.
All right, appreciate it, Black David. Thank you so much. Y'all heard him. We'll be simulcasting from both channels, from Sir Hale Speaks channel and also from Lost in Translation podcast on Super Sundays. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get everybody together, and we're going to talk about a topic today. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and welcome those who are listening and those who are watching live tonight and those who will be listening in the future. Let me go and get the welcome out of the way. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a sensational Sunday like no other. Get ready to elevate your weekend with Sir Hale Speaks Super Sunday podcast. Join us as we embark on an inspiring journey of wisdom, wit, and wonderment with one and only Sir Hale. Every Sunday, we'll be diving deep into the realms of knowledge, laughter, and thought-provoking conversations. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee, laughing in your favorite, laying in your favorite armchair, or out on a refreshing Sunday stroll, this podcast is your perfect companion. Get ready to be enlightened, entertained, and engaged. So sit back, relax, and let the Super Sunday podcast infuse your day with positivity, insight. It's time to kick your Sunday off in style with Sir Hale Speaks. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out. I'm going to go ahead and welcome a few people and recognize a few people in the chat. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and say hello to Ashley. How are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? You know, we got to take care of our ladies. We have to give them the sprinkles. You know what I'm saying?
Well, sprinkle me, baby. You know
That's
I'm
right.
ready.
That's right. You're ready. How's your weekend going so far?
Oh, baby. I ain't worried about the weekend. You know, I work all weekend.
Indeed.
I'm just glad I wasn't over there with the NRG Stadium and all that.
Good. Well, I'm so glad you can join us this weekend because we have a fantastic topic. And
Oh, yeah, I seen.
Did you see it?
Oh,
We're
I
going to get
seen.
into it tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into it tonight. So the next person we're going to bring up is the one and only, the number one, Ronan. How you doing, Ronan?
I'm good. About yourself?
We're doing good, sir. Good to see you. How's your weekend going so far, sir?
Excellent. Tomorrow's my first day going for my BA in graphic design. So
fantastic. That's what's up. Congratulations, sir.
And good to meet you, Ash.
All right. Like David, who else we have coming up? I know we got one more. We have the one and only Reckless Ray De Niro in the building. Ray, how are you today, sir?
You know, I wander into rooms. I live a life that's great. It's better than I deserve. And I constantly ask myself, how did I get in here? And where are the adults at? Because I need help.
Indeed. I'm glad you could join us this evening. I want to say hello to a few people, man, before we get started. It's always great to welcome your guests and the people that's coming by. First of all, I want to thank Sir Hale Speaks for allowing us to borrow his platform so we can go ahead and expand this conversation. Tonight's conversation is mother wounds, the hurt you can't talk about. Yeah, we're gonna get into it tonight. There's a few more people I want to recognize. Help My Relationship in the chat. And Nikkei Kinye is in the chat. Reckless Ray, of course, is right here. We have Lady Navoa. Also, the Quiet Storm, two moderators. We couldn't do this without you guys. You always point God about the best. We also have Corey in the house. T. Wriggles. Who else? We have World Class. And I could have swore I saw SB in the chat. Is SB? Hey, SB, how you doing, darling? We saw you in the chat. I ain't gonna let you slide. How you doing? So let's go ahead and get started. Black David, I know you got something for us, man. She said, hey, what's up, Reckless Ray? Stop wandering.
I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. Saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right? But I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jeezy.
Interesting. You didn't notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you where you actually would stop you in your tracks and evaluate yourself, you know?
So you had it.
So I had it, but nobody ever called me out on it. Also, in my line of work, sometimes being a boss isn't so great for you because you have a lot of people who just agree to what you want. They're yes men, right? And so I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jeezy, and here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits, and he was like, like, who? That's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? But I was triggering him. So through work, we learned that we both have certain habits that to the everyday person, from friends, family, fans, they'll never see it. But to the person who loves us deep enough, you can press that button and boom, the dragon comes out.
All right, gang. We're going to start with Ash on that one. This one. Ash, a bad temper can cost you a relationship. Your attitude is a big deal. What do you think?
It surely can. I don't disagree with that at all. You see that walking in to the grocery store, you got couples just be arguing. I done been driving down the freeway and I don't know what went on. All I know, I had to move to the next lane, and dude and his girl was just over there arguing. I'm like, hold on, baby, let me just move over because this ain't gonna end well. Like, you see a lot of women that likes to chastise men on the spot like they're kids, and that's not how that work. Like, some conversations need to go on behind closed doors, and I don't think a lot of women understand that. You know, they want to get it done right then and there, and sometimes that's not the place, the right time. So
why do you think they do that?
Why do I think do it? Because they see their mama do it.
So their mama made them do it.
I didn't say they make. I didn't say make. I said they've seen. So they figured that is a learned behavior. So they figured that is the way to go because they think the results they mama got is going to be the same results they get, not knowing that you're dealing with a different man, you're dealing with a different background of man, a different character. And that's why a lot of all this society stuff is breaking down, is because people want the back in the day, the traditional with this new age, and they don't mix because somebody got to bow down. And ain't nobody bowing no more. Everybody got their chest up and ready to stick out and yell, and it's a duel to the end. Oh, is that the face, really?
That's the face right there. That is the face. Like, who you think you talking to? Right. Ronan, come on, man. Talk to us. A bad temper can cost you your relationship. Is that true?
Yes, a bad temper can get your ass left in public. I'm not a fan of those public displays out there because, one, it shows you have a lack of respect for yourself and especially me. So, thing is, if we have our disagreement, we can take that to the side and respectfully take care of that. But if you're out here performing in front of everybody, you're going to get a VIP type of show. But the thing is, like, and plus it's a security issue too, because some people are looking for that type of situation to where take advantage of it. So they'll look for that level of division. So my thing is, like, if we have a situation, we have that communication to where respect is maintained first and foremost. And number two, like, if it's a situation, we can take that elsewhere and handle it as a couple, because everybody doesn't need to be in the middle of our business.
Right. Earlier, Jenny Meyer said that she noticed that, she had a bad temper until Jeezy said something to her about it. You know what I mean? Do you think it's a man's job to say, hey, you need to check your tone?
Yeah. If he has a matter of self-respect, it's like, because if you wild one measure of disrespect, expect 1,000. So it's best you check it at the door. I know as men, we have our respective habits, but that's where the communication comes from. We'll let you know where the boundaries are. That's where respect is maintained or broken. So I know where your triggers are. It's my duty to make sure I don't trigger you to do those things out of spite or just out of respect. But once you lose that respect, that love cannot exist.
Gotcha. Reckless Ray, it's on you, sir.
I mean, they sum that up pretty nicely. I mean, it goes back to she's navigated her life up to a certain point, dealing with a certain level of man that was beneath her, right? If you've got all the leverage, in which she did, because these dudes are chasing after those baddies, right? Then yeah, she'd navigate through her life going, oh, I can blow up and this dude's just going to take it till he crashes out and dips off and I'll replace him. Because, she's the prize, right? I'm the prize. Until she met a real one. And once she met that real one, then it became a level of like, hey, like, there's some accountability here. This guy's not just going to roll over and placate to these actions that you have. And then it becomes an issue. But until it becomes an issue, it's actually, for most women, not an issue. They navigate through their entire lives with their feet never truly touching the ground until they get something that they actually want and fuck it up and lose it. Then they out here big mad, big sad, doing whatever. And it's like, well, congratulations. Now you're relegated to lesser men because you got what you asked for and you fucked it up. Enjoy it. I mean, the streets will take you back and you can continue navigating exactly as you were. And you can have all these men that are underfoot and think that men ain't shit. But like that real one that you had, you ain't going to get that one back.
Goddess B said, especially if you had to deal with other toxic things from a partner plus a temper and goodbye. You know what? Here's my thing. Ashley, I want to ask you a question. And I know you've probably seen this before. Do you think that women with bad attitudes can get away with stuff if they're extremely gorgeous? Do you think that a lot of guys acquiesce to a woman's bad behavior because she's gorgeous?
Some of them will. Because it goes like this. If I know I can get away with something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to push your limits just to see what you're going to do. Because a lot of times, that's all it is. People out here giving with, lower value people, whatever you want to call it. And they just snowball them until, you can't go no more. That's the way I see it. It's like a domino effect. Like a lot of these women good with lesser men because, hey, I got the money. So if I got the money, that means whatever I say, you going to go with it. You going to roll and you ain't got no choice. Or you can leave and go back to the hood and get your little hood stuff, but you ain't going to have this luxury. And that's where the problem was. She came, like he said, like Reckless said, she came up on a real one. And that's not how it's going to be because they both have bags. And I don't think they realized that. But back to your original question, yes, women do use their looks. And then if they got a bad attitude, don't feel like they got to fix it. No, they're not going to fix it because they're so used to people taking it.
I see. Rona, let me ask you, do you think that Jenny Meyer didn't think that Jeezy could do better than her? Is that the reason why she acted up?
If that's what she thought, that she saw that wasn't it. We all know simps like to elevate and praise beautiful bums. Like a chick, she looks the part, but then her attitude and her mindset is trash. He likes her as a trophy. He sees her a possession. But if a solid dude likes her, it's like, okay, besides that beauty, what do you add to my life? You add peace. Do you add a sound presence? You know, because yeah, there's some people. I mean, there's some women who look good, but as soon as they start speaking, you got to hand them a coloring book and sit them in the corner. That's why I said the whole thing is like a plastic truck nuts disorder. So when you start talking like a dude, you get treated like a dude. So
that is hilarious. Plastic truck nuts. Look here, Ray. Ray, what do you think was in Jenny Maya's mind when she thought that she could just try to run over Jesus? Did she realize exactly who she married?
No, she didn't. She thought that this was just another one that was another one. That's how they look. They go through life, never getting checked, navigating from dude to dude, doing damage. Then all of a sudden they get their feelings hurt when they find that real one that's willing to be like, cool, you're out. Bye. enjoy the streets. I hope you like them. Like they don't understand it. And like, even the ones that say that they do, they don't. And this is the reason I tell dudes, like, you look, if she on medication, red flag, move on. If you look at who she's been dating and them dudes ain't at the level that you at, red flag, move on. Because all this is going to do, because the issue is this, it's not even that you can date these chicks. Like at this point, honestly, I'm borderline against dating outside of your tax bracket. Like I've always said that, like, you know, I could go change the girl at McDonald's life, but I'll tell you why I wouldn't. Because if stuff doesn't work out, she going back to the gutter and she's going to embarrass me by letting these dudes think that they can get what I got access to at her tax level, at her tax bracket, because she going back to where she was. Right. And when she gets there, now you've got these lesser men, these dysgenic fucks are going to be having access to this woman thinking that they're cool, like, oh, Reckless Ray De Niro, like, oh, I'm top 20% too. No, you top 20% of the trash that was left over by Reckless Ray De Niro. And to be honest, she's never actually going to want you anyway, because trust me, you come in a chick behind me, bro, I done destroyed her soul already. She going to ride you till you die, bro. Good luck living up to the expectation that I've set.
Hilarious. Come on, Ronan. I know you got something to say.
Actually, now I think about it, Jeannie thought she could get away with that because she saw him as a fetish.
You think that's what it was?
And she made that. The thing is, like, they love to say my past is my past. That doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter. So that's why I encourage guys to go meet their family, see where they came from. You know, if you go to their house, check their medicine cabinet, look for them psych meds, see if her level of cleanliness, how she carries herself, even in her car. I mean, that's not a sole indicator, but still things add up. And how she, especially her association with her friends. If she's around a bunch of birds, she's another bird too. So, yeah, she treat him like a fetish. And when you see somebody as a fetish, you don't see him in the same regard of respect. It's just something to do, or something like an achievement. And once that's done, you get treated like dusty trophies. It's just like, all right, been there, done that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Welcome to the show, the one and only Polo Blue. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show, sir. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Great, sir. How about you?
I am well. I'm well. What do you got? How much of the show have you seen so far?
I just turned on. I know I'm late, and
that's all right. I'm gonna run the tape back. Black Dave, run the tape back for Polo Blue. I want to get his perspective on this Jenny Maya situation. Run it back for him.
I have a really hot temper. Not a lot of people know this, but it's just something in my family. I've seen it in my grandmother. Saw it in my grandfather, to my grandmother, to my mom, to my aunts, to me, right? But I didn't notice it in myself until I was with Jeezy.
Interesting. You didn't notice in your previous marriage?
No, because it has to do with the type of relationship you have and the type of respect you have for that person to mirror things back to you, where you actually would stop you in your tracks and evaluate yourself, you know?
So you had it.
So I had it, but nobody ever called me out on it. Also, in my line of work, sometimes being a boss isn't so great for you because you have a lot of people who just agree to what you want. They're yes men, right? And so I didn't notice that I had a hot temper until I got with Jeezy. And here's a person who is my equal and I really respect. And when I would spew some of my old habits, and he was like, like, who? That's not flying here. And also, it would trigger him to come back at me with things where I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? But I was triggering him. So through work, we learned that we both have certain habits that to the everyday person, from friends, family, fans, they'll never see it. But to the person who loves us deep enough, you can press that button and boom, the dragon comes out.
All right.
Sorry to pop up, but I think we have one more person who want to join the panel. I'm not sure if I can find the person.
Who's that? So you said somebody else want to join the panel?
Let's see if the right person.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, everybody?
Oh, wow.
There he is. Sir Hale. Y'all give it up for him. Yes. Hold on, y'all. Sir Hale, you need more than applause, sir. You need sprinkles.
Oh my God.
Listen, what's up, y'all? Lost in Translation, CBN, Reckless Ray, Ronan, Ash, Polo Blue. What's going on? How y'all feel?
We're doing good, sir. How are you today, sir? So
Hey,
glad for you to join us today.
I just wanted to drop on real quick, everybody. I want to send much love to our brother, Lost in Translation podcast. As you guys know, let me do this right. Let me do this right. I want to give much love to Lost in Translation podcast. This brother is one of the hardest working, supportive brothers on the YouTube streets. And so I wanted to come by and thank Canadian Born for delivering that message earlier. But everybody going forward, this Super Sunday show, this ain't my show no more. This is Lost in Translation podcast. Everybody be sure to support his channel, subscribe to his page. This brother is going places, and we want to make sure that we are on that train as he goes. So I wanted to stop by and say much love to you, Lost in Translation. Appreciate you holding down these last few weeks. Much love to you, and thanks for everybody for being here tonight and for making Super Sunday what it is. Much love to you.
Thank you, Sir Hale.
And with that being said, I'm gone. Y'all have a good one, y'all.
Thank you, Sir Hale. Way to go, Black David. Y'all snuck us on that one. Appreciate it.
And when I know, let me get back to work like I normally do. I stay in the show.
All right. Thank you. Polo Blue, you saw the tape, sir. What do you think?
I think she's getting what she deserves. I think that her I couldn't hear it all the way, but I know she moved her brother in. I know she has a bad attitude. She Jeezy is a multi-millionaire platinum artist, and in the end, his options are not going to decrease because he got a divorce. She's not going to be able to find another young Jeezy. That's going to be he's almost irreplaceable based on his age, his income, his status. And then, originally she said that, I don't know if she, again, I couldn't hear it all the way, but I know she said white meat is for main course, dark meat is for side piece. So I don't feel bad that any of this happened because her attitude really hasn't changed. And women who have a guy of that high of a status, because he wasn't cheating, this is not an infidelity thing, so they can't point fingers at him. If I don't like her attitude, she didn't treat me the way the king that I want to be, I can leave. It doesn't happen often, but I think he's doing it the right way. Look, I didn't cheat on you. I didn't abuse you. I didn't touch you in any bad way or form. I'm walking away. Yes, we have a daughter. He's asking for 50% custody and wants to be in the daughter's life. So that's most important. He's following his obligation as a father, and he just doesn't want to be with the mother anymore. And it just happens that she's high profile with a voice on TV. But she keep on talking bad, she's gonna lose that as well.
You know what I noticed too? When they have these shows like The View, I never see them edify men at all. They sit around and they cackle, you know what I mean? And they talk their trash about men, and they wonder why men don't, come to their aid or to their rescue or respect them. You know what I mean? You can't talk bad about somebody and turn around and expect them to do stuff for you. Is that not a fair assessment, Polo?
Oh, that's more than fair. I think that what is it? The Real, The View, The Talk, They should have a man who is very outspoken and very confident to balance it. But there's a reason why there's all women, because all the men are at work. We don't have time to sit there and cackle all day because we're at work. And if we're not working, we're managing or something, but we don't have time to sit in Day Talk TV. Because my lady asked me, hey, you know who Jenny Mai is? The lady who's married to Jesus. She said, no, she's on whatever it is. I said, no, that's not why I know her. And I'm not lying.
You know her from being Jesus' wife, and you know her from being TV.
Correct.
Yeah, true. All right. Anybody else want to add anything else before we move on to the next topic? Ronan, did you have anything you want to add?
Well, that was another thing too, especially she's sending another deterrent, bringing her brother in. I'm sure they had some words about that. So, yeah, it's already been established. Like she had her way, she needed control, and he wasn't feeling that. But according to her thing, said like seeing her mother do it or something like that. When you start a new relationship, it's a new slate.
Right.
So if you start seeing, same old patterns, you haven't learned anything, and you get in trouble putting a have an X on top of a new situation, you wonder why you get the same old thing or worse.
I just thought about something too. Normally what happens is people try to emulate what they've seen in their parents' relationships, and they try to apply that to the relationship that they have without even learning the person that they're with. I think sometimes people can get together too soon without knowing each other. Ashley, let me ask you a question. Do you understand why it's important for people to actually get to know their mate instead of just taking what they learned from their parents and copying and pasting, try to put it on their relationships?
I can hold both hands up and every other limb. Yes, I can hold all the limbs up. Look, to me, I feel like if you don't know a person, it's finna be a world of trouble. Lived it, going through it, all the above, because you don't know them. And then it's like, oh, everybody's ready to say, I love you. I got somebody. Here's my trophy, or this is what I got out of it. And then at the end of the day, it ain't nothing but a little plastic cheap toy. What do you say? Little cheap boats, truck boats or whatever.
Yeah,
that's pretty
that's
much
it.
what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I just feel like we don't take the time, like social media and all the movies that we see nowadays, nobody takes the time to get to know each other. Nobody takes time to actually learn who they with and study who they with. They just, boom, we together, we gonna roll with it. And then when the wheels fall off, everybody running to social media crying, want somebody on their side to understand their pain. And at the same time, it's like if you just would have stopped, look at what you actually got instead of what you want to see, you would have saw this already. And like I said, I'm a victim of that. Running full speed and didn't see the wall coming real quick, and then bam.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Right. Let me ask you a question, man.
Shoot.
A lot of times, man, we watch TV and movies, and we try to emulate our relationships. Well, some people try to. I don't do that. But we try to emulate our relationships, right? And they don't realize that these relationships that they see on TV are designed to be wrapped up within an hour or less. You see what I'm saying? And in real life situations, sometimes these things can go on for days, man. So what advice would you give to people to say, hey, look, don't try to, do what you see on TV because this ain't programming,
Right. If you're with somebody who is running the TV sitcom, I like to say that Dawson's Creek ruined an entire generation of women. For those of you who are a little bit older that remember that show, it was terrible travesty. It was actually worse than The Color Purple, and it was made by white people. And basically what it was a show where the entire show was based on these people who lived around this stupid creek. And it was just these constant love triangles, constant fight, constantly making up. And there's so much passion when they make up because they love each other, but they're constantly just doing stuff that just destroys someone's soul in real life and just turns you into a hollow husk. And a lot of young girls got really into Dawson's Creek, and then they grew up, and then they replicate it. And now they tell you, oh, I've got anxious attachment disorder. And now they'll tell you, oh, I've got borderline personality disorder. Your disorder is not an excuse for you to be a bitch. Okay? No one has to accept that. No one does. Matter of fact, gentlemen, if she just tells you, oh, I've got BPD, or oh, I've got an attachment disorder and I just get anxious. And she's using it as an excuse to ruin your life and her own. Leave. Because you don't have to accept that. You don't. Life is too short to live every day of your life fighting a battle in the streets for resources with other men and then coming home and having a chick who's using her disorder as a blunt force weapon to destroy your existence once you get home. You only have one go at this as far as we know. And if you do have more than one go, you ain't going to remember this one. Right? To be doing this over and over and having terrible lives and allowing these people to just destroy you mentally. The one last vestige of peace that you have, the one piece of quiet, the one piece of solitude that you might have in your long day, your long week, your long month, your long years, your long life. We are just, all we do is work and die. That's all we do. And those little inklings of peace that we get along the way, you're going to allow a woman to come into your home and take that from you. That one last little speck of dignity that we have left in this world. The one piece where we go, this is mine. I've laid claim to this. You're going to let that be ruined. You're better off alone than letting that one little speck of our human existence that we get, because we don't get by default as men. We don't get to be happy. We don't get that. That is not allotted for us. Those little moments of peace are as close to happy as we're going to get, unless you want to navigate the world like a woman, which is fine. But women and children are the only ones who get to be happy. We get small inklings of peace. And what we do is we allow these women to come in and be like, oh, well, I'm hot tempered. Oh, I'm a boss bitch. I'm this, I'm that, and destroy that. They take that from us. And then on the back end of it, they want to talk shit to us when we're upset about the one little piece of peace that we had being taken. We're not even allowed to talk about that. So no, I say get rid of them. I say get rid of all of them.
So Ray, you trying to tell us that
she belongs to the streets?
She belongs to the streets, man.
I don't even think she belongs to the streets. Like, realistically, unless you're encountering these women for a night and getting them the hell up out of your life, they're not even worth being around. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, there's only so much. You have so much time on this planet. You have so many years that you are allotted, so many minutes, so many hours. And you're going to spend them arguing with your wife every day when you get home from work every day. Like, if that's what's left for us as men, you're going to see a lot more of us going it alone. Honestly, because there's no logical reason that anyone's going to expound. I don't care what the Bible says. I don't care what anything says. There's no logical reason that you're going to go, hey, you should fight battles on every front for your entire life and then die with no restitute. You get no rest. You get no peace. There's no respite. Your respite is death. Like, no, I'm not signing up for that. Put me on every other team, sir. Like, it just sounds, these are terrible existences. But that doesn't mean that that's every woman. But like those women specifically, they need those natural consequences. The natural consequence is the men that you say you want aren't going to accept that behavior. They're not going to want you. You will be alone. You will either end up with a lesser man who will tolerate you being the boss, which is fine. And you can have those results. They don't deserve good men if they're not going to be good women. Like, it's that simple.
That's what's up, Ray. Paul, let me ask you a question, man. Back in the day, we used to have this thing called feminine wiles. And for some reason, it just seemed like it's a lost art. You know, when a lady drops the handkerchief, you know what I mean? And then you sashay over there to pick it up and say, pardon me, ma'am, but you dropped this. And she'll say, did I? And then after that, you take it from there as a man. Let me ask you a question, Paulo. What is it going to take for us to bring something like that back, man? Because we're missing it, man. Every day we don't see it, we miss it.
Because, well, we got to get rid of the boss bees. We got to get rid of the independent women, because what are they independent of? Men. So they get credit. And on my podcast, I say, well, you don't get credit for being an adult. You have to be an adult at a certain age. You can't revert back to living with your parents, especially if you have children. So why are you asking for extra credit to be an adult? So that if you want an actual man and you don't want a beta male who's going to follow you, you want somebody that you can follow, then you must put yourself in a situation to follow. Give the man the option. Then if he likes you, he wants to pursue you, then you drop your handkerchief. But don't walk up to him and say, hey, I want to take you out. And if I actually had a woman say, well, what if somebody asked you to marry him? It's a no for me. It's a big no. And don't ask me again, because it's still going to be a no. I don't care if I was attracted to you and like, oh, you taking too long. Well, if a man takes longer than 18 months to ask you to marry him and y'all supposed to be in a committed monogamous relationship, he's just going to keep playing with you. You're a placeholder until he finds what he's actually looking for. You're not his choice. You just happen to be the person you take out on dates and the hole that he happens to fill, unfortunately. But women don't want to hear that. And I can put this new phrase. You can't love them into loving you. It does not work.
All right, now.
Love you, it's not going to work.
All right, now. Ron, let me ask you a question. Here's the thing, man. Why does it take 18 months for a guy to figure out exactly whether or not he's gonna be this woman or not? What are some of the things that you think in your mind that may be holding him back from going forward?
It's a big ask to have a guy commit forever to someone who's emotionally fickle.
Yeah.
You have to see how that person is mentally, physically. Are they housebroken? What habits do they bring that will be passed on to the children? Does she value her reputation and yours? You know, does she understand the ability to communicate effectively as a feminine woman? Does she understand herself? You know, why are you going to sit here and commit yourself to a pseudo guy? That doesn't work. You know, like what are her priorities? How does she move? And a guy has to watch not just what she does, you know, in front of everybody, but in private. What does she do outside of the house or out your eyesight? If it doesn't correlate to everything you're looking at, or if she doesn't have a plan or have an understanding of what she's campaigning for, why are you putting a ring on that? Like I've said, no man wants to negotiate with an emotional terrorist. Your edgeless antics are not going to get you to the altar. It just won't, especially nowadays. So that's why a guy has to take some time to not just how she looks in skimpy outfits. How does she look in certain rooms? Because some are obstructionists when it comes to the vision. Well, I don't like this because it's going to keep me from my girlfriends. Okay, if your girlfriend's a gutter snipes, then that's where you need to be. So that's why a guy has to take his time, because this is an important investment. His last name has to mean something, especially if he spent time building value only to basically waste it on some bald-headed hoe.
Yeah. Wow. All right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took a turn.
Oh my goodness.
One last thing.
One more thing.
And just a little title thing. It said that anti-angry sit-down win advocate. That's another issue that's going on, that's prevalent nowadays. Sometimes a lot of these women have ruined sundress season for the past 4 summers because their hygiene is questionable. Either their walk-by win is disrespectful, or they sit down a little too fast and they change the smell of the room and the fabric. So those are things that guys have to look at.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took another turn.
My. The wind.
Yep.
With that being said, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Black David, topic number 2. Roll that beautiful beat.
Dr. Gamora Mate said that no siblings are like all raised the same because each of you are triggering something different within your parent. depending on what their trauma is. So it is true that like it's not really necessarily that your mom doesn't like love all of you, but they do treat you differently depending on what you're bringing up in them. When you look at it through the lens of favoritism, it kind of comes with like like that stings.
Yeah, it stings.
But then that's what happens also when we start taking it personally, rather than seeing it as like, oh, like I bring up this unresolved stuff in you. This one brings up that unresolved stuff in you, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I like the way that you reframe that.
Yeah,
because I know some people are probably thinking, "Damn, that's why my brother, I hate him." Nah, I know. So I'm glad you cleaned that up for us.
Yeah,
man. So let's talk mother wounds and relationships, because I feel like there's.
My. Ashley, can children trigger trauma in parents?
Baby, can it? Yes, it will, baby.
How so? Give
Not
us some
speaking
examples.
from experience.
Come on.
But I've seen it. Like let's just say, okay, we just gonna take me because we're gonna start there. I have 2 different baby daddies, not ashamed of it. 2 lock in. Okay. But
oh my goodness.
But it's like what I actually witnessed growing up, is like the first child, like that one got all the ridicule. That one didn't get the love that it needed. It just wasn't there. Like my mom would be like, let's say, I'm trying to keep this discreet as possible.
I can assure you, I don't answer to anyone.
So, oh, you so pretty and all this other type of stuff. I'm looking like, you ain't with neither one of their daddies. So why are you treating them different? Like, how and why? Because I never did understand that. Like, why do you treat your kids different? I don't care what go on, but why? That to me is baffling. I would both mind. You know that, Lost in Translations. I spoke on the other podcast.
Right.
But I would both mind. I love mine equally because there's no difference. And like I tell them, I don't like neither one of y'all daddy. Matter of fact, y'all look just like them. Y'all look just like them. Y'all don't look like me. Y'all don't walk like me or nothing. Okay? So at the same time, it's like they know I'm joking, but they know you're equal to me. I don't care because you're mine. At the end of the day, I still have to raise you. And I never have understand like how people can have kids with multiple daddies, but treat like the last 2 or the one that they're with, treat those kids better than the other kids. Or they talk down to one, maybe it's the middle child, because everybody got their picks. It's like, why are you doing that to that child? Don't you know you messing with them psychologically? And then you got to send them out there in the world to be somebody's wife, be somebody's husband. And it's like, they're not mentally there. So I understand. Check the cabinets. You don't know what these people on. Check their family. See how they interact with each other. Because I dated the guy, matter of fact, was engaged to the sucker. And the mama treated him better than the older brother. And I'm like, what's the difference? They got the same dads. What's the problem? I ain't never seen this before. And I saw it. I thought that was kind of strange. Like, why is there a difference? Because this one's over here going to the military and this one over here ain't doing nothing. So you not gonna praise him because he don't want to do what he doing? Like, that's not fair to me. I've never thought that was fair, because in my family, everybody's the same. Everybody get joked on. Everybody get talked about. We all the same. I've been in the butter joke for 9 years now. So hey, it is what it is in this family. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get treated equal. You gonna be a joke. I'm gonna be a joke. If I bring somebody around, he may be the joke. It ain't no difference. Difference.
In that situation, the mama's manufacturing sibling rivalry when there is none.
When there is none. That's all it is. It's pretty much what's the title of tonight's show? And it's about the mama got them hurt
Mother
feelings.
wounds. Yeah.
Them wounds that stays in the house, that don't go outside the house, but they still want you to function outside the house. Yeah, right. That crap don't work. But anyway, my throat dry.
All right now. Ronan, thoughts, sir. Do children trigger trauma in their parents?
Possibly. One part is when we entertain parental politics when we use our children as chess pieces to get at one spouse or the other. When we basically infuse our trauma into them, ruining them. Or, I mean, to be blunt about it, sometimes the child's genes is strong to remind you of Mud Duck's past. So you're just taking out your frustration with, you know, your situation, and it's no fault of theirs, but still we have to sit there and understand the child is learning everything from us. They watch us. We teach them more by what we do than by what we say. And they learn early that we're notorious hypocrites. They know that we're not together as a couple. They know that, you know, they hear us at night arguing over simple things as far as money, accusations, past traumas and current. They know that we put a public face out, you know, just to sit there and look like we're a family. But when we get to the car and the house, they're tearing up the house. They've seen us fight. So the thing is, like, our children start acting out our traumas, and then, like, again, it starts fanning out and everything that we see today. But I would say, when it comes to the trauma, this is where we have to have those uncomfortable conversations with each other first. Well, I say first we have to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. Then we have to learn how to talk to each other, talk each other through our traumas, learn how to talk through things, not around things, but through things. And then as far as with the children, we have to sit them down and have that conversation in a language that they can understand, so they know how to navigate those things and avoid the pitfalls that we subjected ourselves to. And then that's how you do effective parenting, not just having these mantras like whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Was creating a powder keg.
So basically what you're saying is that the children are acting out the behavior that the parents themselves do, and the parents don't like it because they haven't dealt with their own issues. Is that what that is?
Well, actually, they become the alive mirror.
Wow.
What we do.
The reflection.
Actually, they magnify what we've done. Sometimes, okay, if your mother or father is a consistent liar, they think it's cool because mom and daddy did. We're the first teachers. So now let me lie about this, that, and the third. And then that's where you're getting blindsided by these other things when you don't make it a space to be honest and tell the truth. You make them fearful of accountability and consequences. So now they just like do anything to avoid trouble when really they run right to it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Ray, what you got on this one, sir? Do children trigger trauma in their parents?
Man, listen, some of y'all kids suck, and I understand why you don't like them, because I don't like them either. Like, I understand. Like, some of y'all probably hate your kids, man. Like, I'm telling you, I've seen it. You can have it happens. I mean, let that breathe for a second. But some of y'all kids suck. I mean, some of y'all as adults suck. How do you think that as a kid you didn't suck then too?
So they probably got on their mom and daddy nerves too.
100%. You third generation losers, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, we live in a first world country that allows dysgenic losers to reproduce. So like you got lucky, but like you suck. And some of your kids suck. Like, it's what it is. You know what? The first step to resolving a problem is acknowledging that the problem exists. Right? I mean, some of y'all need to be honest, and instead of just being sideways with the kid, tell that kid, be like, look, you suck and you should stop it. we should work on this. Like,
that's how your kids gonna be looking at you.
I can well, you know what? That's terrible, because like, don't ever have your kids around me, because I'm gonna tell them the truth. Ever, because I'm gonna tell them, be like, you suck. You about to be a whole ass loser when you grow up. You know what? You know what's heartbreaking is when you got to ask about a 30-year-old over a man who's over 30 years old that also has a kid, and see his mama almost cry because that nigga sucks. Okay, and she knows it. At this point, like, when you get to above 25, people know whether you gonna be all right or not. Like, everybody's parents, I'm telling you, like, those of you who have kids, like, I don't have kids, but as a child, I know my mom used to always check in on me until I was about 25 and actually started getting my shit together, because she was just like, man, I don't know. You coming like, what's up? You all right? You good? Do you suck? I'm not sure. like, but the thing is, like, these are things that like you have to actively head off as the past at the past as these kids are growing up. Like you can't treat children, especially young boys, like women. You got to give them that accountability. You got to let them know, like, listen, bro, you stinking. I don't know if you can smell yourself, but everybody else can smell you. Listen, bro, you can't identify as a cat when you go to school. You're going to get stuffed in a locker and roll down the stairs in a trash can. And I ain't going to be able to help you because, like, this is a problem that you generated yourself because you suck. Listen, bro, if you eating glue in class, they going to be on your neck forever, bro. You ain't coming back from it. No, you can't wear mom's shoes to school. They probably going to pick on your ass forever. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, let's call it what it is. Because what's happening is these kids then grow up, they get through the school system, they become adults, and they start voting, and then our country falls apart. Piece by piece. They're not a danger to just themselves. Them being losers isn't problematic just for them. It's problematic for all of us. Because they get an opinion that apparently is supposed to count with their pink, yellow, and blue hair.
Hey,
and
Mrs.
their
Harris
potato
said,
bodies.
Hey,
Like,
Mrs. Harris said most children that suck come from parents or a family that sucks.
100%. She's right. She knows. Like, they know. Like, you know what you're raising. You know what you're producing. You know what you are.
Ban all glue in America. Reckless Ray.
Bruh, I'm running on that platform. But like, listen, if you look at yourself in the mirror every day and you see a loser, fix that before you reproduce. Don't pass them genes on. You just gonna make a tiny loser. You gonna make another version of you. How you gonna produce something better than what you are? Make it make sense.
I can't
make it make sense for me. Like, don't, you gotta hold off. You gotta press the brakes. You gotta get yourself right. Then make babies. Because we got a whole lot of suck out here, and we gotta sit here and talk about your baby is so cute. Everybody in the South saying bless your heart on every one of your posts about your kids because your kids look like a miniature Goonies monster. Like, come on, bro. You know your kid's ugly.
Did you hear what I said?
Come on, Ray. Polo, let me ask you a question. How do we get our kids not to suck and trigger us? How is that possible, sir? Because according to Ray, you know, we in trouble, man. We in trouble.
You're gonna like my answer.
Come on.
So both of my parents are one of 10. So that means I have 18 aunts and uncles. I'm older now, so all of them are living. But so as a child, I was born in Mississippi. Everybody was on my ass. I never had a day where somebody wasn't saying, get right, don't do this. Mm-hmm. My grandfather on my dad's side, he would say, look, he said he would call all the boy cousins chump. I call you a chump because I don't want you to be a chump. Then reinforced by my uncles. And of course, my dad was on my ass. He was a retired master sergeant. So all the men were on all the boys to do better. And then even my dad said, I've done every stupid shit that you ever thought of and worse. So don't even try me with some explicits. Okay, I thought I was slick. He said, I already knew what you were doing. Come here. So all the men that are in the family or any cousins or adult figures that have any success, you got to stay on the boys. And I was going to speak on something else he said. The black boys, we got to stay on their throat. We cannot let them make it. It is never a chance for you to be weird. There's never a chance for you to eat glue, have multicolored hair, gothic, be weird at all. You need to either be an athlete or be smart as hell, but you cannot afford to be weird on any day. Not one. You have no days to be weird. You have no days to be exiled. You have no days to say, I don't know what he's thinking today. No, you have to be all times. You're always being judged, and you have to be excellent or close to it as possible every day that you go out.
Absolutely. There was a time and place, man, where we had to display excellence no matter what we did, whether it was in our schoolwork or whether we was in music or if we had, you know, sports or whatever. You know, they always told us to make sure we do our very best. So to me, it just seems like we're not striving to be our best anymore. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out exactly how did that happen. Ash, go ahead, Polo.
I'm sorry.
How did that happen?
The single mothers are giving the black boys, they're giving them too much grace. They should give them mercy and be on their fucking throat, pardon my French. But there's, oh, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not gonna be okay. It's gonna be way worse. I need to love you hard now so that when you experience the world, you're prepared for it. But now you want to think everybody's doing you wrong because they don't let you do stupid shit all the time. And you're gonna be judged way worse when you get out in the world. Don't worry about the fact that I need to beat your butt every now and then and tell you the right way. You're gonna get out there and they're gonna treat you bad. You're gonna be unemployed. You're gonna come live with me at 30 and you don't have no damn money. I digress.
Yeah, because the world ain't gonna be easy on you, man. You know, you'll find yourself in a situation where you didn't think you was gonna be. And sometimes you got to be taught how to deal with the punches of life. And folks being easy on you is not gonna do it. You know what I mean? It's really not gonna do it. So, Ronan, quick question for you, man. How can we help our boys become better men?
They go back to proven rites of passage. Because like masculinity is about evolution. You start as a little boy, you start to a young man, turn to a man, then to a solid adult, and then you earn the right to be an elder. Because you have to be vetted on certain things.
Right.
And this requires, like some guys say, OGs, or even solid guys in your group that keep you accountable. They teach you the value of keeping your word, respect, discipline, principle, hard work, and ethics. Instead of being a hobosexual in training, they teach you how to stand on your own as a man. And they actually show you how to treat women that you should be proud of. Like, because they'll be a reflect. The thing is, like, it's not just the women you choose. It's about your associations, their reflections of you. So at certain stages, like, look, we expect you to be the best as every stage possible. So that way you could pass it on. Because we're not going to be here forever. And even, and brutally honest, even though a child may not have the facial features that are favorable, they start learning how to work on other attributes to bring out the best in them. So yeah, we learned in school, like, either you're going to be an abused introvert or you learn how to fight back using, like, wit. It requires intelligence, being quick. People are trying to leave you alone. They respect you because they know you're going to bring the heat to them. They teach you how to fight, not just physically, but mentally. Learn how to read your body language, understand your environment, learn how to move in the world, like unlike these careless little mud duck bastards out here do. They know how to, again, it's like the value, not just your money, but the currency of your conversation, your time and everything. So again, over time, you start becoming that refined man of principle and purpose. That way people respect your presence and your absence, rather than these human dingleberries we see every day, living life as a third generation human participation trophy. So, hey,
You know what? Ashley being the only lady on the panel tonight, let me ask you a question. What type of woman would be suitable for a man who's gotten his stuff together? What can we do for the women to help them to get to the point where they are a suitable helpmate for the type of man that Ronan just described? Somebody who's got his stuff together. What does that woman look like?
I'm going to take it back old school. First, you need to learn how to cook and clean, because a lot of you don't. What he said about the hygiene with the sundresses that had me almost over here dying, because it's not taught anymore. We are not taught to be ladies, and we're taught to be thots and twerkers and boss bitches. Excuse me. We taught how to get to the money and get a man out some money, but we ain't taught how to keep our body up to par and check it, and the discolorations that may come up out of us. It don't look like that. I don't know why y'all face look like y'all ain't never saw it. Well, I hope you haven't, but like you ain't never messed with no nasty girl. She got some crusted underwear, done had them in the bathroom somewhere. She got some crusted drawers laid up there. You like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave instead of staying. Don't act like you ain't never been around somebody and you had to leave up out their house because you saw some underwear that says, this bitch don't go to the doctor at all. Let me go ahead and roll up out of here. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. But anyway, basically, women are gonna have to start actually being women and not women of the street, because because I saw this change coming a long time ago when we start wearing lingerie outside as outwear. What was
Yeah, I
that? That was
noticed
about
that too.
06, 07, somewhere around off in there.
Yeah.
When people started taking the night clothes and putting them with a pair of jeans. I'm like, where the hell you going? You're not going to your bedroom. Why is this being worn outside? And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the nail on the head. This feminism shit. That bullshit right there. I don't understand it. I'm not with it because you're trying to tell everybody respect my feminism, but at the same time, why is it that when people have sons, you're not raising them as little boys? They're more feminine now than ever. But you want to sit here and say masculinity is not okay. But first of all, we need to respect our genders and go back to our actual gender roles, because I don't know what the hell a thee, they, them, and trim is I don't know what all that is. I don't know. I don't know what all that is. I know a person, place, a thing. That's what we were taught. Person, place, a thing. That's what we were taught. But now it's like our generation, and going forward, I guess you can say going forward from our generation or going back, whichever way. Everybody's got this freedom of speech thing wrong. Everybody want to be respected as an individual, but now you got these groups of people and rejects from high school getting together and saying, hey, they excluded us in high school. Now that we grown, let's make this a rule for us. Now they can't exclude us. It's like everybody got something to say, but it really doesn't apply. And you got the bandwagons just jumping on and running with it. And that's what they're doing. Like all this pole dance. I've never seen so much pole dancing in my life. Like, if you're not being a stripper, what you being a pole dance for? Your man want a meal. And also in translation, I told you on this other podcast, we need to learn how to cook, clean the house. How you gonna tell your son, oh, you need a woman like this, but baby, you can't cook. Only damn thing you do is cook noodles and damn raviolis. What kind of damn meal is that? That's nothing but high blood pressure there. You getting him ready to go ahead and go into the see a doctor. He the next patient. Like,
he about to head to the upper room. You know what I'm saying? That bus up in there.
And you ain't got no burial plan for him. But that's, to me, it's just that we need to start back being our natural selves. We need to learn how to be women, and men need to learn how to be men. And hey, it's okay to have that, because everybody know we got that one Fruit Loop in the family. Everybody know you got that one that you know for sure. Let them be there. Let them go over there. But can we just stop with all this extra? Quit pushing a narrative that don't need to be pushed. Everybody got their own opinion, but at the same time, it doesn't fit. Our kids are being lost. You got these damn little boys running around here with these little tight ass pants and the ass hanging out, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on. I'm like, did your mama really let you walk out the door like that? And your mama went to the store with you and bought these jeans and said it was okay for your ass to be out here in the public. Do you not know what that means? Why can't we teach our kids right? Because see, the breakdown really is with my people, the single mothers, because we're not mothering. Because one, we mad. I'm gonna say we mad. Because one, we ain't got no man. Because we don't ran them out because we had one too many kids. Our mom too smart. We too damn independent. And then when a man come and spend his money, we expect him to be the employee and not the CEO. He's supposed to be the employee, okay? And then another thing, we don't tell the damn kids what to do. Damn kids running around doing whatever the hell they want to do. Little Tasha out there in the streets fucking up, bringing the shit back to the house. Now you got the police knocking on the damn door. But you're not being a mother, but yet you on Facebook, free my son. Oh, he didn't need to get shot like that. Oh my God, we gotta go for me. No. If you would have whooped his ass a long time ago, we wouldn't have had this problem. If you took a time and be a mother, just sit down and be a mother. Think about what went wrong with you. You got, in order to cure it, you got to start in the house. And some of our houses ain't clean. Goddamn it. A lot of motherfuckers ain't cleaning. They just taking pictures in the bathroom and you see them by. That's all you seeing. That's all you seeing right here. Because if you look down below, you got shit everywhere. Toilet paper rolls, water bottles thrown everywhere. Trash need to be taken out from yesteryear. I mean, come on. Like, as women, Black women, especially Black women, need to calm the hell down with this independent stupid shit and get your ass back in here and start raising these damn kids. Because if you hadn't noticed, We don't have too many people talking about they being a black doctor. We don't have too many goddamn lawyers. We don't have too many shit running around here. We got these little goddamn pookies and Ray Rays talking about they finna live out this Grand Theft Auto life. Then I'm trying to be a working citizen. Gotta shoot this little motherfucker because he over here trying to steal my shit, or he on my bus begging for a ride to the corner, to the next stop to get with the other guy. Like, ain't nobody parenting. Let's be real. Black folks ain't parenting no more. We just having kids and push them out the world. Have a kid, get a check. That's pretty much where we at. Have a kid, welfare. Have a kid. Oh shit, girl, he slow. Oh shit, get a check for it. Get a check. They'll give you a check. They'll give you food stamps. Bitch, we ain't got to work. But then here I am, can't get a goddamn dime because I want to work. Yes, I am mad. I'm very upset about that. Because how do you want to work and you can't get a damn dime from the government? But as soon as you want to be sorry, want to go hang out, get in before 11 that's free, you ain't got to do shit. Man, please. But yes, women need to start women.
Women need to start women.
Yeah, they need to start actually being women.
Rona,
cooking and cleaning.
to sum up what she said, don't get a woman that do none of that. Okay? Whatever you're looking for, don't do none of that. Okay? I don't know where to go with this one.
You know, and she's right. It's like we have to be accountable for our vetting process. First of all, as men, we got to vet ourselves. Are we worthy of the women we're asking for? Amen. But most times, and let's be brutally honest, we settle unnecessarily. Most times we figure if she has about at least 3/4 of her teeth or has a pulse, has taken a shower at least 3 times a month, then we got to raise the bar. And there's too many guys who are promoting beautiful bums who read at 3rd grade level. You take them to a restaurant, she's eating a steak with a closed fist and a fork. I mean, it's outright disgusting what we do as individuals just to have somebody. So if we talking about we're men of purpose and principles, it has to reflect that in who we choose to represent us. So if she is running around with her kids looking, covered with Cheetos, dust, and failure, and loaded Pampers, and she has a clothing found, formation looking like, middle California in her house of clothes, or she's doing a smell test and says, I got 3 days left on this shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took another turn.
I mean, it's
Cheetos and failure.
I mean, the thing is, like, you have to, like, again, it's like, if you say you're at this level, they have to meet that standard and make it reasonable. We're not talking about as far as like financial, something like that. You guys can work on that, but still, do they have a level of class and dignity about themselves? Can they speak like a human being?
Right.
Are they a good reflection of you? Where did their parents come from? Meet them. See what dysfunction and how big this person is going to be, or how built bad this person's going to be. You'll get a look at her mom or her dad. You'll see if their genes are strong in a way you don't feel favorable. You got to know that too.
All right, then. Polo, you want to add something to this before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, it's real simple. The reason that men settle is because we look to qualify, find a reason to be with a woman. We are looking for, let's just say we want 5 things. We want to be pretty in the face, nice breasts, hips, ass, and toes. We'll take 3 out of 5. And we'll be like, you know what? We can make this work because we're looking to settle. We're looking to put our resources in somebody that we hope will push us forward, will cook and clean for us. And then they don't. But we're looking to marry. It's the women that want to replace us. It's the women that want to disqualify us. We want to be in relationships. We want to be in monogamous relationships. It's the women that want to replace us. It's not the other way around.
My thing is, why don't they want to be married? That's the question.
Because we got the system. That's why we got the system. We don't need y'all. I don't know who told them. I don't know who put that lie out there, because I don't want the system. The system can't lay next to me and make me feel better about myself. But anyway, they gave us money, health care, and allegedly health care, and the food stamps, and the TANF, and the housing that replaced the man. That's what took the man out the house. If you really looked at it, it started back in the day. That's why I say it's been going on. It's just that we're not looking at it. and it's so weaponized now. It's like the good qualified men don't look at us, and we mad. Well, I ain't mad because hey, I don't really qualify. I got 2 kids. I ain't got time. But you got men that goes to the other side, and everybody get mad because they with a white lady or a Mexican. What you mad for? He ain't gonna look at you anyway. He wasn't looking for you. Because if he was looking for you, he'll be with you. That's the one thing I never did understand is people always, oh, he over there with that white girl. Okay, so what? He didn't want you.
Oh,
come on, Ray.
I mean, it's not just that. You didn't want him until he had something that you wanted. That's the reality of this situation. Like, that's a non-starter conversation because realistically, black women don't want productive black men until we've won. Y'all want to sit and do whatever you want. You want to get busted down by Ron, Day, Man, Pookie, Raekwon, Dabarius, Jafar. I'm trying to think of Star Trek character names now from the Klingons, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you done had the whole damn football team and all the linebackers gonna run through it. And you come in tow with like 14-9 kids and an attitude. And then you got something to say about the dude who goes, oh, I don't want to clean up this nightmare of an existence you've curated for yourself. And now because I decided to work really hard and have money now it's my responsibility to go clean up the community? No. I'll be the first to say it. Fuck you. Okay? Like,
sir.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening. That's not my responsibility. I don't give a damn.
Hear what I said.
Hey, bro, look, you can't get on the plane that I'm getting on. You ain't going to be on the island that I'm sitting on drinking my Mai Tais. You are not my problem. Because, like, if this shit... it's going to be your problem. And y'all can sit around here and dink each other to death all you want. Like, I don't care. Because you didn't want those men. You don't want those men because you do not know how to assess value in men. That's an issue within our community. We put everybody to the forefront that should not be up there. We always want to have conversations about everybody. These people are scum with money, and y'all want to act like they heroes, bro. Your heroes are scum. Your heroes are toxic. Your heroes aren't even doing right by the community. It's so sad that we're to the point now as black people where our heroes, we look at LeBron James, who put his name on a school where kids can't fucking read. And he did something. That's y'all's heroes, bro. These are y'all's kings. These are y'all's queens. Sexy red y'all's queens. Booty hole brown. That's where we going with it. That's what we rocking with. Okay.
You know where
that's why we're not getting any progress. Like, whenever we have these conversations, it's like, look at who you put forth as your heroes. When you look at every other culture, who are their heroes? People that woke up one day, went outside, looked to the left, looked to the right, and said, you know what? We gonna pick a direction and we taking that shit. And our heroes are talking about their booty hole is brown. You ain't never gonna win. Y'all ain't never gonna win. How, Sway? Conquer,
you know what, right? Here's my
civilization. Thing. Like, can we got to figure it out.
Here's my thing, Ray. Here's my thing. We have to let people realize that you can't pass on public housing as an inheritance. You know what I mean? And the minute we get to that point, we should realize that you can't pass on your Section 8 house to your kids. We got to start getting our own.
Right.
Polo, you had a question. You had a comment you wanted to say, sir.
I was going to talk about the 35 plus starter kit, 3 baby daddies, Section 8, EBT, a Altima or Impala. That's it's 2023. That's 2013, 2014, and they just got it from tax season, but they lose it before the next tax season.
Yeah.
But then a man who works 40 hours a week and has a degree is not good enough. And speaking on LeBron, what expectations do you have from a man who only has a high school diploma?
No, it's not a matter of the expectation though. It's the premise of like, those are, he did the thing. Like because like I was excited when he started because I thought he was more involved than what he was. And then you find out these people can't read and they can't do math. Like those are two of the pillars: is reading, writing, and arithmetic, and you can't do two, which means you can't do the third. like you that, but they're like, obviously he's busy, he makes money, but like the issue is the people that we put to the forefront are always these flash in the pan, not financially literate, not necessarily educated. And like, I fall into the uneducated category too, but at least I hire people. Like, Jesus Christ. Like I've created jobs. I know how to do leadership. I'm good with financial strategy. I don't have a piece of paper that says that, but like, I'm smart. I don't have a piece of paper that says I'm smart. You don't need that to win. The point is, when you look at the results, like, because people will look and be like, oh, well, LeBron James done more than I have. But has he? Putting your name on a school and funding the school where no one can read or do math isn't helping. It's not. You threw that money away.
You know what? I know what I believe, Ray.
Right?
Here's my thing. I think it speaks more than just LeBron's school having kids that can't read. This kids outside of LeBron's school that can't read too, if we're being honest.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So that speaks more to our culture than it does LeBron James itself. You know what I'm saying? So,
but we're not a culture that values education. Successful cultures, the core fundamental value is that they at minimum value education. I get on these panels all the time and argue with people constantly about, oh, I want my kid to follow their dreams. And like, no, we need doctors, we need lawyers, and we need people in STEM. Guess what? That's your life. You can do whatever the hell you want after you get your degree, just like every other culture that's winning. You know why? Because it closes the gap on how many losers we're going to produce. Like, because if you're not good at rapping and you can't play ball that well, but you got a STEM degree, guess what? You can still be productive within the collective. You can still be useful to somebody. We are not producing useful humans. That's the reason Black people as a culture are the largest consumer base, because y'all like to think that means something, when if you knew how money worked, you would know that that's a sign of a populace that's dying. Those are leeches because we don't produce shit. Like, I mean, I was on a panel just yesterday where they were talking about we got to fix the community. And I was like, okay, so how many people on here actually are owner or part owner of a business that employs people that's registered with the state besides myself? Oh, well, that's not what we were talking about. What are you talking about? Opportunity. How many of you have put another Black person in position to have the same ownership stake that you have? Oh, well, it's not necessarily about that. Well, what opportunity do y'all want? What do you want? And what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? How many people do you employ? What opportunities are you giving people? Are you mentoring them through? Is there something that you're doing? Oh, well, no, but we want to sit here and pontificate about what everybody else who's in position is doing. And then we look to these people that got their money yesterday and wonder why they fumble the bag and can't produce results, because they don't know how. They just got given money. You got given a token. They're like, hey, you can do it at this. Look, LeBron did it. Great. LeBron did that. You know, one of my mentors when we're talking about education, never got past an 8th grade education because he had to go work for his family. It's a white man. Owns a very large electrical firm that's one of the best in the city. He didn't go, oh, I got to go play basketball or I got to go be a linebacker. He figured it out. He creates jobs for other people. He's affecting the community. He's providing opportunity. He's mentoring people outside of his own people group. Like, what do you want? It's a simple question. Like, no one's going to throw us a bag of money. That's not even an option. That's off the table. So what are we supposed to do? Because nobody wants to get into business. You guys don't want to be dirty. You want to look good. You want to wear suits. You want to be dressed up. You want to be suited and booted, looking important versus being important. You want to look rich versus being rich. You want to look like you got money versus actually just having money. We need to start striving to be in a different kind of NBA, people. The never broke again. That NBA is the one we need to be in, where you have the ability to sit and think and make decisions. And we have a power base where we can move money around, where we can actually influence things, because nobody cares what poor people say. I'm sorry. I know it's going to offend a lot of you. No one cares. No one cares. We got to do
it. Start by raising these children and getting
Yes,
these
ma'am.
kids back in school and making sure they can read, because that Bush no kid left behind law is what's really messing everybody up. If you're not taking time, my thing is, when I signed my contract to be a mom, baby, education was what I was pushing. I wasn't pushing basketball, some type of sport or nothing. No, you're going to do that too. But them grades coming in, because this may sound a little racist, I don't care. I said, you're not competing with the black folks in the community. You're competing with those outside. I said, what you need to do is get with you a little Mexican chick, learn how to speak Spanish. So therefore, when you go to these jobs interview, you can have that one leg up. I'm bilingual. I can speak the language and also I can write it. So therefore, you're at the winning table already. We don't have them conversation. It's, oh, it's us. No. It's not us. Because if you look at us want everybody equal. Us don't want nobody in front of the other person. That's why when you was on them panels with everybody else, and they were talking about what somebody else should be doing, they not putting black folks where they want to be, because they don't want that black person to get ahead of them. We suffer.
Right.
We all suffer from it. It's just that we don't take that accountability. I tell mine every day, look here, you go to school, that's what you need to do. I said, it doesn't matter if you don't graduate or not. Go for the experience. Take it farther than what I did. You know, not saying that I ain't got nothing. I got 2 little licenses in Hale, and I can go pretty far with them, you know, CDS, cosmetology. I got that right there. But at the same time, I really don't care about that. I love to drive though, but I want my kids to understand there's another life out there. You don't have to work for somebody. If you're going to be the good boss, you need to put the education in yourself. And also you need to learn how to work, start now how to build yourself. Make those connections, because if you can understand some of these languages and put it together, you can go be a translator. You can be a private translator. There's other things out there that we don't speak about. We speak about, like you were talking about, quick money. Give me this big bag. But then by the time we get to that big bag and start helping people and start trying to put a little money back in the community, we have nothing. We're broke. That's why people don't understand why all the older NBA players and movie stars and stuff, they're broke. They're broke because one, you got mommy and daddy talking about sign the contract, not sign the contract. Take me out the hood. Take me out the hood. No. That's not what I practice with my kids. I don't practice that kind of retarded stuff at all. It's not your job to move me out the hood. It's my job to move you out the hood. And then you take it a step farther. Then you take your kids a step farther. Because the stupid stuff that we got planted in these kids' head today is, you make it out so we all can go out. No, because that door is not for me. That door is for you. That's your job. You got to answer to whatever you sign up with. And that's what we don't tell these kids. That's why a lot of them have these breakdowns, these mental health issues, all this ADD and all this blah, 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 blah. What's wrong with? No, what's wrong with them is we not parenting it, and we're not telling them the truth about being an adult. An adult, you have to make sacrifice. You have to put the time in for yourself and actually see where you want to go. Our kids don't know where they want to go. I had a little boy the other day talking about, ma'am, how much you make? I said, I make enough, but I could be making more if I had a different type of degree. I said, I don't want to see you as an employee. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you doing something else. Well, I want to go to school for this. I think he said a lawyer or something. I'm like, well, go for it. This ain't where you need to be. You know, people don't understand. Once you become an employee, you be trapped into being an employee until you have to really sit down and try to figure a way out. That's what they don't tell you. You know, you get trapped into being an employee because you get comfortable with that money. It's right there money. You don't have to do no extra for it. But we don't spend that time with our kids. And that's why the kids are like that. Because ain't nobody putting no importance on education. It's the importance is on sports. For what? Everybody's not going to make it. You got 117 kids. Is Tyrone over there can read, write better than mine? He got a better chance because they're going to also look at him academically depending on where he's going. Everybody want to talk about the HBCUs. What about them? What about them? They're no good if your child can't read. If you never sit down and actually figured out that your child can't read, well, shit, half of the parents can't read. So how the hell are you going to tell the child to read? And that's the conversation
hold
you
on a
don't
second.
have.
If I may, y'all, I've been on a lot of panels and I've been on a lot of shows, and I think I need to say this because it needs to be said. A lot of people like to tie their success into jobs and degrees and things of that nature. Well, in essence, I'm going to tell you how you build wealth. You tie it to land. You know what I mean? Because land is something that you can pass on to your kids. And then if you have a business attached to that land, that's something that can be transferred down. You can't transfer your engineering degree. I'm just being honest. It is what it is while you're here, and then you retire, and that's it. You know, you can pass on your sociology degree. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, really, you know, can you do that?
Yeah.
You know, you can pass on the wisdom or whatever, but outside of that, your kids can't, you know, use that. You know, but what you can do is you can teach them about having something tied to land. Back in the day, what we used to do is we used to see parents pass on land, pass on houses, you know what I mean? That type of thing. You had an inheritance. We don't have an inheritance because we don't glorify, you know, being landowners anymore.
Right.
You know, we always used to hear about, you know, Great Aunt Sally, you know, had some land over in Georgia somewhere. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And you just don't know, man. They don't make any more land anymore. You know? And in the future, it could be tied to something. Then you got mineral rights and stuff like that. Those are some of the things that we need to teach our kids. Is farming sexy? No, but people get to eat. You know what I mean? And banks will loan you money to keep farming as long as you're producing. You know, that's a skill that you have to learn. And that's something that's transferable. Say, for instance, if you move from one state to another, you still know how to grow stuff. You know what I mean? You can still do. And you can pass on that land and you can keep building. That is how you build true wealth. You can't build wealth with a degree at a time or a job at a time. And I think that is a shift that we need to make and make farming and stuff like that and agriculture and distribution the real backbone of what makes this country move. That actually needs to be our priority. We need to be able to participate in the production of things from scratch. You know, we love to get into the wholesale business of things where we sell something somebody else made. But if you own the land rights and the mineral rights to things, then you got the keys to the kingdom. Come on, Ronnie. I know you got something to say.
Well, so and you guys made awesome points. And there's one key element that we keep running from. We're talking about the importance of family.
Right.
It's like that is the cornerstone of solid communities or actually building into nations. Thing is, like when you have a solid community instead of these ethnic outposts that we live in,
right?
You start learning how to take care of the value of things. You start having things like a trust. So where you have things like the land and everything everybody put in there, you'll have something to pass on. You no longer become an employee. You know, like I have something waiting for me.
Right.
Then we have conversations at the table, or even just in general, always instilling wisdom in the children. So look, I'm preparing you to take the baton, so you don't have to have a GoFundMe to bury me or anybody close to you.
Right.
Then we talk about not just the conversations, but what we eat, because we need you to have the strength. We need you to have the virility and the focus of the things you're ready to take on. So you learn as a youth how money works, how saving works, how communication works. That way you build a solid network to where you don't have to sit there and be at the mercy of people who are preying on you being separate individuals. So when you have your family of your own, you start having your own history. So you can go back to your elders and like learn from the mistakes they made. Like, you know what, we're not doing that. We're moving this way, instead of worrying about what social media, which is a socially transmitted disease on another level.
Right.
You start disseminating the programming. Like, look, all that nonsense out there does not play here. We're going to move this way. You're going to have to learn how to think, not what to think, but how to think. And then that's what they're usually afraid of. Individuals who can really jumpstart things as a creative individual. And that's one of the most damning abortions that we commit as a people, is aborting the vision and the passion in our children and ourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ronnie. Anybody else want to wrap
Yep.
up before we
No,
get on to the next topic?
I was just gonna say, like, one of the other things that we have to start doing as a community is like people got to start leaving their blocks. Like you got to start getting out, you got to start traveling, you got to start being around other cultures. You got to understand the level of toxicity that we navigate in. Because like once you understand that, you'll understand exactly why no matter what intervention that we have that's outside of this community, it won't work. It won't. Nobody's going to be able to come save us. No one's coming. But if someone was to show up, they're not going to be able to save us, because fundamentally at a core level of a value set, that's where the damage is done. And you can't come in from the outside of that and fix a culture. Look at all the money that we sending over to everywhere else right now. That's your money. Are those places better? No. Like, the money's not the issue. Our core value set is the issue. And like, if we're not going to attack that, then nothing's going to change. Like, the trajectory that we're on, which is one that's towards our annihilation, is going to be what it is. But one quick thing I just wanted to say, like, look at how Patrick Mahomes navigates. That's how somebody who knows how money works navigates. That man is indoctrinated into every facet of this city. He's got deals with everybody regionally. He's cutting his football salary because he wants to win, and he's making so much money outside of football right now that he can afford to not, like, don't worry about my salary. Get the people that I need in here so I can keep getting rings while I'm here. That's his focus. He's not trying to get every dime he can get from the football. He's set regardless at this point. He set his wife up. He bought his wife into the soccer team. So she owning something that they're building a stadium for here in KC right now. Like, y'all got to start adjusting your purview of how these people are navigating. And if you want to look at athletes, look at the ones that know what's going on, that are getting poured into, that are actually getting mentored, that are navigating a little bit different than these athletes that are going, I need every dime from this team and it's all gone tomorrow. Look at the people that are actually building something and take your cues from them and see how they're moving, because those things are replicable.
Right. Thank you, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Black David, I know you're in the back. Let's hit him with the next question, sir.
Part of what really made our bond strong in me knowing that this is the man that I want to marry is the whole time that we dated for like 3 years. And we made a commitment that we would wait to have sex until marriage. Yeah. And we honored that the whole time. Like, because he was still healing from his past relationship, and obviously me getting to know him. Like, this is the first time, like, I'm living with someone and just wanting to, like, do it right. Like, I don't want that to be the thing that keeps you. Facts. Like, if we gonna be good always, that means that we have a really strong foundation and we have a solid friendship. Like, I don't want you to stay because the sex is good. Like, it's gonna be good. You ain't got to worry about it.
It's good.
You ain't got to worry about it. But I wanted, and we both agreed, like, let's really build.
First of all, I don't believe both of them agreed. I think he just acquiesced. So I'm going to start with Ronan this time. Ronan, the question is, celibacy is not respected. Sex is expected for non-virgins in relationships. What's your point? What's your point of view here?
That's tough. And I get it. I mean, I respect celibacy because, like, yeah, you want to have that healthy bond, because sex is a very powerful tool. And if used incorrectly, we've seen it too many times, it can destroy a person and everybody else around it. But if that's what you're looking to have their relationship and you guys are moving forward to that situation, then yeah, I honor that commitment. It's going to be tough, because it's going to be tough. But the thing is, if you guys are committed, to doing that, then yeah, I said they're supported, because some of us suffer from a post-traumatic slut disorder. So, hey.
Wow. Ashley, I see you giggling up there.
No, I'm not.
Is celibacy, is it not expected? Is sex expected for non-virgins in relationships?
I mean, it depends on who you date. Like, if you're going in and that is the expectation, well then yeah. But if it's not, hey, what is it? 3-6 month rule or whatever rule? Because different folks got different rules about the sex. I don't know, because I was watching one podcast. It was like, well, if that's all the dude want, of course he gonna wait it out and he gonna go for the go whenever the green light comes on. So, but if they did it that way, kudos to them, But actuality, the way sex is promoted throughout the United States and being promoted everywhere on every channel, I don't think. I don't. Okay, somebody's smelling something, or they in a different watering hole, But if it worked, it worked. But because some guys got that mentality as to, if you let him here, why I got to have the rules and he didn't. If you gonna be this way, why weren't you this way with, like he said, in the slut bill days? Why you didn't do that with the 50
I'm trying to do something different with you.
No.
Yeah, and that be the one
No,
say, yeah, that's not
no,
gonna work,
no,
player. That's not working.
Nope.
We don't respect that kind of audible.
No.
It's an epic hour of outrageous excuses.
No.
Different.
I want the deal the last guy got. That's the deal I want.
Yeah. Hey.
Ray, tell us about it, man.
I mean, it depends. Like if she's showing up, like this is wild. Like it's like I'm not signing up for a bad deal. I don't care who you are, bro. Like I'm not gonna sit there and knowingly be like, okay, so this dude walked in the door day one, busted guts, and I'm coming in and it's gonna be 3 years. Like I gotta wait 3 years for some boxes some dude got for free yesterday. Like, no.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think it started out as 3 years, or did they say, hey, this is gonna be it's gonna be 3 years, okay, before we do anything, or was it one of those things that we'll start off 6 months and we'll see if we can extend it there.
Well, I mean,
extended warranty.
You gotta also take into context, like maybe they did everything, but maybe they was on that church flow. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do everything else, you just can't get it up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like you can knock on the door, but you can't come in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe that was the case. But what I'm saying is, if it's a 3-year scenario and homie is a heterosexual male, he was busting down some bust downs during that 3 years. Like, look,
sir,
I tell people straight
we're
up,
gonna take him at his face value. We're gonna pretend like he didn't do it,
bruh. Any chick that's saying a dude sat around that dude either does not like having sex. No. Either he ain't about it and he don't want it and they just roommates, or he was getting 3 years. 3 years.
I don't think Russell and Sierra waited 3 years.
Bro, ain't nobody that's a man waiting 3 years, bro. They just sitting there with you just beating yourself for 3 years. You over here collecting taxes from yourself for 3 years? Come on, bro.
Oh my God! Wow!
What you talking about? Talking about she laying over there, you over there just with yourself, just looking over like mad. Like, what are you? Nah, bro. Nah.
Here's my thing. They're not broke, so money wasn't the issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe they really wanted to get to know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they did, but also maybe the tooth fairy's real. And maybe that big fat white man squeezes down your chimney and brings presents to you every year as well. Maybe. I'm just saying, I feel like you got, bro, listen, if you go to jail for 3 years, bro, and you move slow and smell good, bro, somebody gonna fuck you. Like, come on, bro. And then they'll straight up say, it's, bruh. No.
You know what, Ray?
No. I'm firm pressing no on this. It's not possible if you're a heterosexual male. I don't think it's possible. It's not. Like, unless you got an addiction to porn after those 3 years are over, because like you had to do something. Like, what are we talking about here?
So
in
maybe
2023,
they were praying. Maybe they were praying and
man, you know how hard you got to pray for 3 years to not use your dick?
I beg your pardon,
bruh. You literally would have to have a personal relationship and phone number to God to call and be like, bro, this stuff is hard, bro. Talk me through it, bro. You watching? Are you watching, bro? Like,
so Ray gonna take his show back, fooling around with y'all, man. I'm telling you. Just letting y'all know.
3 years? 3 years, bro. If look, I'll put it this way. If you ain't a Tibetan monk on a mountainside where the air's thin, so it's hard to even get it up, I'm not buying 3 years. Like, unless you came out of that and you've got some new super holy power. Like, I want you laying hands. I want you curing leprosy. I want you curing leprosy on the whole island. I want to see you walk on water. I want to see you walk on water. I want you to conjure fire. I want you to turn the stick that fell down in my backyard today. I want you to turn that shit into a snake. I want to see it all, bro. Like, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to know what power you got. Yeah. Yeah. I want you to come over and turn a septic system to wine, and the good kind too. I want that Jesus wine. Like, I want all of it, bro. Like, you got powers if you go 3 years in 2023. I'm just saying. You don't have
mention of it. I made mention of it. It is tough, especially if y'all in there spooning and you end up hot dogging.
Right.
Hey, you are channeling spirits. I'm just telling you right now. You're working on something. Just
not the spirits.
And then you know what? 3 years later, it's gonna be. You're gonna have a house full of kids.
Yeah,
a house full of kids, you know, and you ain't married. Come on now, let's be real.
Listen, and the thing is, like, even like, say y'all just trying to be cool, and you just move in your sleep, and she just know how to toot it your way, and you feel that heat. Like, man, look,
bruh,
these colors got to kick up, or something got to go up.
Hypothetically, if that is true, bro, could you imagine the amount of fluids that was blasted after 3 years of buildup, bro? She got 18 babies, bro. She better have a litter of kids. If that's true, because you know he gonna have the strongest swimmers at that time. They just been in there doing crunches and push-ups, like they just ready to go. Like,
aside from putting holes in the drywall in 3 different apartments far away.
Facts.
My thing is that you should know. I mean, it don't take 3 years to know, man. It really don't. So what's really going on? You know, what's really going on? We're gonna move on to the next topic because we already know this ain't even real.
That's a whole nother show.
We don't want to change. We don't want to make another turn. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother show.
Black David, hit us with the next one, man. Come on, roll that beautiful bean.
You want to live longer? Stay single if you're a woman. The happiest and healthiest of people are single, child-free women. We literally shorten our lifespans and decrease our happiness when we get married, while men lengthen their lifespan and increase their happiness. This is based on statistical data, so don't get defensive about it. Listen, I'm not going to get defensive at all because I agree. Because number one, when you get married, women get married, we have the stress of having to do everything. Okay, number one, we had to have the kids. We had to literally carry it for 9 months. It changes our whole body, our whole chemistry. Then we had to deliver it through, you know where. Literally, do you know how much stress that puts on your body? Are you kidding me? 2, most likely, and usually in most cases, the woman's going to be doing all the work around the house and cooking and cleaning and everything. And the man's just going to go to work and come home and that's it. The woman's going to be the main person to raise the child, and the man does the minimal work. Not to say necessarily that all men are like that, but the majority, that's how marriage works. It's not 50-50 at all. It's usually 80-20. Okay, the woman doing 80% of the work, which causes stress on her body, and why she is the one that's not going to be as happy. And the man is obviously going to be happy because he doesn't have to do anything. He ain't got to do nothing. He gets the fun job, the fun parent. He gets to do whatever he wants. And the woman has to do all the grungy work. And that is why I will forever and never, ever get married or have children. Okay, if I do, somebody please just talk me out of it.
From the mountains, in a distant land, comes Capitry, straight from Mount Copernicus.
You know what?
Can I just say something?
Before you say something, let us welcome Take Heed to the message of the show. Welcome, Take Heed. How you doing, darling? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How's everybody doing today?
We are well.
We are captastic.
Take Heed, did you see that?
I saw a little bit of it. That's all.
You know what? Since you're up, Black David, run it one more time.
You want to live longer? Stay single if you're a woman. The happiest and healthiest of people are single, child-free women. We literally shorten our lifespans and decrease our happiness when we get married, while men lengthen their lifespan and increase their happiness. This is based on statistical data, so don't get defensive about it. Listen, I'm not going to get defensive at all because I agree. Because number one, when you get married, women get married, we have the stress of having to do everything. Okay, number one, we had to have the kids. We had to literally carry it for 9 months. It changes our whole body, our whole chemistry. Then we had to deliver it through where. Literally, do you know how much stress that puts on your body? Are you kidding me? Two, most likely and usually in most cases, the woman's going to be doing all the work around the house and cooking and cleaning and everything. And the man's just going to go to work and come home and that's it. The woman's going to be the main person to raise the child and the man does the minimal work. Not to say necessarily that all men are like that, but the majority, that's how marriage works. It's not 50-50 at all. It's usually 80-20. Okay, the woman doing 80% of the work, which causes stress on her body and why she is the one that's not going to be as happy. And the man is obviously going to be happy because he doesn't have to do anything. He ain't got to do nothing. He gets the fun job, the fun parent. He gets to do whatever he wants. And the woman has to do all the grungy work. And that is why I will forever and never, ever get married or have children. Okay, if I do, somebody please just talk me out of it.
Help us out. Is that true? Is a woman's life cut down, if she's getting married? Do single women live longer? And what's the marriage? What's the incentive for marriage if single women live longer?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I have never heard that before. But only hyenas push that. They got to push that. Only hyenas push that. You feel me?
I feel you.
Only hyenas push that because they want everybody to be single. They want everybody to be miserable, just like them. Now, I can't sit up here and say all marriage is perfect. I can't sit up here and say that living a single life is perfect either, because I have watched women in my family get as old as 60, 65, and they say they wish they would have changed their mind when they were young. So I can't sit up here and say, oh, not having children and traveling and having a good time is a blessing. Some of the women in my family, they cry because they don't have nobody to take care of them in their old age. They got nieces and nephews, but we taking care of our parents. So how can we really be stopping by trying to take care of you? So when people come with that type of logic, I always shake my head and look at them and I say, wow, when you get in that nursing home, we'll see how you talking. You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't have offspring, and this is what I learned in the line of work that I'm in now, okay, that if you don't have an offspring, you don't have nobody to fight for you. You don't. Only people you see coming in and out your room in your old age is the doctor and the nurse and people who going to transport you in and out your room. And when the day you get called to glory, there'll be nobody in the room with you. You just pass away and they zip you up and take you to the freezer. That's it. But I have watched women who have raised families with her husband. Titans you will see walk up into this hospital and they will surround this woman's bedside and cry and say, Mama, you have done your job. Daddy has done his job, because usually the father has passed already. So Daddy has done his job. You have done your job. Mama, go be with Daddy. You will see the kids cry. The mama will look at them. She will smile because she ain't talking no more. So she smile and look at them. And then she take one last hand and blow a kiss at all of them and fall asleep. That's the best blessing in the world, to see titans around you Okay, your children, your offspring come around you and say, Mama, you have done your job. Daddy, you have done your job. You can go on to be with Mama. You can go on to be with Daddy. But you know, y'all think living that soft life, living that boss girl chick life, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all think living that type of life is good, but when you get old and you ain't got no children, you don't have nobody to cater for you, it's not funny. It's not funny anymore. You wish that you had eyes that look back at you, that wanted to help you, because now you're relying on strangers that don't know nothing about you, that will only come in your room when it's time for feeding or medication. No one will come sit there by your bedside and talk to you. I don't know. They just forget that now marriage is not for everybody. The Bible say everybody ain't gonna get married. It's the truth. Everybody ain't gonna get married. But if you ain't gonna get married and we going by the Bible, you ain't supposed to have no babies. You ain't supposed to have no babies. You ain't supposed to have sex. Let's get it correct. You ain't supposed to do that. So now you're supposed to be in worship with God. Okay, let's get it right, with God. Okay, so you're not supposed to be having no children. You ain't supposed to have no carnal knowledge of nobody. So, you know, let's call a spade a spade. I don't know how we get out of that and we say we want children, we don't want to get married. But if you don't want to get married, you ain't supposed to have no children. That's the truth. You ain't supposed to have kids. And this and we don't want to tell anybody the truth because we scared we gonna hurt their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear women, they get mad when some of the male influencers say, "Oh, you just want somebody to save you. You want somebody to save you." Let me share something with you. When a man marry a woman, and she may have children or she may not, he saved you. Yeah, he saved you from the streets. He saved you. Now, I know a lot of women get offended that I say this, but it's true. He saved you. Because let me share something with you. There is a wall. There is a wall, but women will sit there and be in denial. They'll be like, no, there is no wall. There's no wall. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. May his soul rest in peace. There is no wall. That's what they say. There's no wall. There's a wall, baby. There's a wall. And when you hit that wall, okay, when you hit that wall, only men that are at that wall at the time is Pookie and Ray Ray because they didn't do their job during their youth. So they're there. And you have been to school, you done did your thing, you got your career, you live well. They are there to sink you dry. Yes. They ain't got nothing because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So yes, now Pookie and Ray Ray is there at the wall waiting for you. So now all the Pookie and Ray Ray you didn't want when you were young, okay? You get them now when you're old. All your money get depleted because he busting up your car and everything. Every time you turn around, you going to bail him out of jail, 50-something years old. No, that's too, you have messed up. You have messed up, my sister, and you can't have no children. That's my take on it, y'all.
Thank you, Take Heed. Ash, it's on you.
I don't think I got nothing. I think she hit it. But I think I got a little something.
Give us what you got.
I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this narrative that everybody's pushing, that you don't need kids, you don't need a man. But my thing is, ain't we supposed to be together and procreate and all this other kind of stuff? Where did this come from? Like, that's why I want to know, where in the hell did this come from, that we were supposed to just live our lives as separates and be happy? Baby, like I said all the time, I wish I had a husband. Because sometimes when I don't want to mess with them children, he can mess with them children and go do that. But people don't understand when it comes to marriage and who you're marrying, you should know what responsibilities and what role you're going to take. See, the problem is they done saw everybody in the family get married to the wrong one that was eye candy that you were supposed to look at and go the other way. I'm a victim of that too. I was supposed to look at somebody, but I looked too long, and that's it. But that's the problem. Everybody's not telling the truth. That's why we try to tell folks. Just because you see us old heads bumping our heads and having these kids, why do it? I tell mine all the time, don't have no kids. Don't have no kids unless you're ready and the man you with, you married. Do it like that, because being a single mom is the hardest motherfucking job I've ever had. I don't give a damn what nobody say. This is the hardest, stressful job, because when I step out this door, whenever I go out that door, I'm going to have to answer to them too, no matter what. That's what people do not explain to these women. And then for this child to get these statistics talking about women would rather be happy, baby, please. I done been on a trip where people got their little millions and things, and they taking their little pictures. I want somebody to come with me too and take a little pictures while we out there all in the sea and the thing. Save me. You know, I hate this narrative that they're put out here that we women don't need men. Excuse me, is we the only culture that's living by this? Because these other people is getting millions and things and being happy and sitting in their house while we out here being stupid. Because if you listen to some of these rappers, every time you look around, some of them got a man. Hey, it may not be the same man as last month, but they got a man. But you out here talking about all single ladies. No, baby. No. She got a man at home. She made a record for you to sell and promote and have it as a national anthem. It's not a national anthem because you need somebody. You want somebody to be able to bounce ideas off of. You want somebody to help you with your vision. Sometimes that's what you need. What is it? Helpmate? It's like we helping ourselves into stupidness. And like I told my best friend the other day, I said, you know what? Black folks keep fucking around, we gonna be motherfucking extinct. Because we the only ones that act like we can't get it together and understand it. If we stop sleeping with the Pookies and Ray Rays and the Shaniquas that got the big old ass over there, if we stop fucking with them, we can't have no more kids with them. If you stop looking at them and messing with them, when you get to the bottom of your glass or your Hennessy's and after all your shots, you can't, if you're not messing with them, you don't have to worry about them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about these relationships that don't work. But it's been so glorified to where we think that's how we got to live. We don't know about peace. Peace is only what we see on the TV. No, peace is what we can have. When I got my passport and realized I can go out the country, I was happy as hell. I ran. I took my first trip by myself so I could enjoy being out by myself. I ain't do shit. But I went out and I enjoyed myself. I was like, damn. I waited all this time after I done had kids to go out the country. And I've been trying to do this shit with other folks. I should have just took my ass on. That's the problem. We want to band up and have a group. We don't need a group. Because if you go ahead and get your household structure to where you can have your career, have your kids, you don't have nothing to worry about. But we're not teaching that. We're teaching this individual shit that's really going to lead us to extinction. It's going to lead us to extinction. Because when you look at it, think about it. We out here with our big asses and our bodies done, trying to impress each other. The women, we trying to impress each other. Men gonna look regardless. Hell, men look whether you got a stomach, a big ass, no ass, glad. You may be a joke or two, but you know, they still gonna look. I mean, it's just what it is, what it is. But you got motherfuckers nowadays, oh, we gotta be a bad bitch. What is the bad bitch? Bitch, what are you bringing to the table? And everybody mad about this. I bring this body. Well, excuse me, baby. You're going to go get that body touched up because we know you're not working out. We know you're eating and drinking. What you doing? And for her to sit there and tell me she want to be single forever, motherfucker, please. You're going to roll over and want somebody. You're going to call Pookie and Ray Ray. You're going to call somebody. Somebody's going to scratch that itch late at night. I don't give a damn if they roll that 2 and 3. Somebody going to scratch that damn itch. Whether you got that rose, you don't get tired of that. Everybody get tired of the one-man show.
All right now.
Everybody get tired of one-man show. I don't know why everybody feels like porn is justified. No, you're watching somebody else enjoying an experience that where you want to be. You're being stupid. That's all I got to say about it. It's stupidity to me. And I feel like black folks, as a whole, we promote stupidity instead of actually having a conversation like we are now with these kids and let them know, hey, I tell mine all the time, hey, my relationship didn't work out because, hey, I'm a jackass sometimes. Sometimes I want it my way or no way. I said, you don't have to live like that. You can choose love. You can find somebody to love. You can work it out. You can talk. Me, I'm bullheaded. I like too much control, as I was told. I don't give a damn shit. I'll control by myself. That's how I'm going to do it. But you don't have to live like that. That's optional. Don't be out here like these stupid women talking about, I don't need a man. Okay. But I bet when you go to a grocery store and the man tell you look good, I bet you start smiling, showing all your damn teeth.
Sure do.
I bet he could tell you if you got a gap in the back. I bet there's an outfit that you put on still to this day that you know can have a man look. Because I saw a TikTok video the other day. Girl was like, well, this is the outfit you put on when you go to the grocery store to get a man.
No, what you're talking about.
I looked, I said, some little ass shorts and a full shirt. All you showing is your ass off. So basically, you tell him you want to fuck. No, that's not how you get a man. A man can look at you still have full clothes on. You don't have to be half naked. You need to know what narrative you're selling. But we selling this, we got to be half naked and just being out here. Your body is a temple. But if people learn first to break down what's really wrong with you, then you can find your husband. You can find a helpmate. That's the problem. We don't let go of what happened. What's the topic of tonight? Mama's trauma that spilled over into us. We don't let that go. We don't think that actually had an effect on us and our perception. Once that perception is tainted, we can't move forward and love nobody. Hell, we don't even love ourselves sometimes. You can see that how the hell we drink, act, shit, get locked up, thrown on the ground, then we want to say, oh, he hurted me. No, bitch, you hurt yourself. You shouldn't have did it. You don't want to call it man a bastard. Instead, fuck the police. It's just crazy. When you're looking for the benefits, I'm not gonna play with y'all. Go ahead out.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Oh.
Woo, come on, Ronan. I know you ready, man. I see you over there itching, man. You know, single women live longer, man. That's what she said. And what's the incentive for women to get married, man? What's the incentive?
Actually, she said it wrong. I said single women suffer longer.
Oh. Straighten that up. Clean it up for us, Ronan.
Well, the thing is, like, they have this pseudo independence. You see it on social media where chicks out there in the club dancing by themselves, trying to drink away their sorrows, trying to find something to run from themselves. Meanwhile, they got a shoebox with a stinky dildo, smells like cat food and spicy yeast. Or you got them out here trying to use different men to fill in the space that they created for themselves. Then they suffer because of the children are reminders of their bad decisions in most cases. Every time they look at their children, they see the guy that they laid with or try to use as an anchor baby, or they use them as parental human unemployment vouchers because she gave up on her dreams and now she's a walking loser. And when you go to the family union, you see that you're your mama's karma. So they get out here and they have these stinky dildo statistics and try to claim that, you know, they're doing better than they are, when really you're not educated because you didn't learn anything from your mistakes. You've been indoctrinated. You have a degree, but you had 370 degrees of failure.
I'm a PhD.
Well, the thing is, the thing that with all that PhD hasn't helped your PH level. Then when you get out here and you try to hide yourself in church and you basically dismiss everything in the Bible, you know, you want to sit there and have them cater the message to your ego, then you're living as a hypocrite. So you get out here and you sit there and blame men for everything you do, but then you have to blame the traumas that you've been taught from your mother. You want to ignore what society's helping you do. You see the benefits of marriage is like you actually can become wealthier when you have a spouse that's with you. Someone that can help your mental issues, actually exercise those demons your mama and her friends and even your ratty ass girlfriends put into you. He can take you places, even the hurt places, and go somewhere further and see the better part of yourself as a woman, rather than that dusty ass husk that's sitting in hospice, stinking up the room and getting mad at the attendants before you expire early. So when you come back to this whole thing about they live longer, you can tell yourself that lie. but it takes a lot for a man to put his last name on a woman he deems worthy and present as the world. He can give you direction. He can give you structure instead of masquerading as fun as nothing but widespread chaos. You drinking yourself to death. And the best thing a guy, eating away your years, the best thing he can give you is dick and distance.
Wow. Thank you, Ronan. We got a $5 super chat from MC Recovery and Relapse. And it says, that's what my pastor said today. Get it right. In the garden, Adam wanted a helpmate, Eve to teach. Serve pastor said, what happened? Family unit. You know what? MC Recovery, thank you for the money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right now. Thank you so much for your super chat. And now, before we get started, the one and only Reckless Ray.
God, if you listen, hell.
Man, I hold on. Let me read the bottom. Single women live longer. That is a complete lie. It's such a funny thing that they like put out these little shock piece articles just to get people to read them, and people are so stupid that they believe these things. It's a proven fact that the amount of poisoning that women have to do in order to compete with men for resources is actually causing them to live less long. Who are the predominant women who are competing with men for resources? The single ones. Because you gotta be out there. It's just you. And as your bones get brittle and those bags of potatoes that you have to drag into your house get heavier to feed you and your 14-9 dogs and the 2 dysgenic loser kids that you're going to have in your house. Because like you're going to have sex and you're going to have kids. And then you're going to say you don't need a man. And then you're going to continue to live your life. And then your kids aren't going to like you because you've barred their father from being in their life, because obviously niggas ain't shit. So, you gotta write the narrative. So now you've created a schism between the father of the child and the child. So like he might not even be in the picture now, but eventually they'll find him. Kids have questions and they grow into adults, and then they're going to go find him, and then they're really going to hate you. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to live with your nasty, evil hyena friends, and you guys are going to start a pack. You're going to have a roving hyena pack, because y'all got to live together to help lift the bags of potatoes, because that's all you're going to be able to afford, because rent's expensive and it keeps going up. Now, once this happens, you're gonna have your little spinster hovel that you'll be able to smell from across the street, because obviously, as my brother Ronan said, the pH level is going to be hella off in that house. And then you're going to have your period sink, and it's just going to be it's going to be like a Danzig concert over there for 7 days out of the month. And there'll be blood coming from the walls. It's terrible. It's a horrible place. And then no one's going to come help you. And then eventually y'all going to just fall apart. Your bodies are going to cave in. It's just going to be like a little skin meat suit. And you're going to expire from this world. And then they're going to...
Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took another turn.
They're going to come in with the shovel and a bucket to scoop your hollowed husk body. It's going to actually, you remember when they took out the Wicked Witch? That's what's going to happen when these hyenas die. Like, it's literally just, like, it's just going to implode inside of itself. They're going to put the skin in the bucket, and they're going to take you down, and they're going to discard of you into the river, and then the catfish are going to eat you. And that's the reason catfish smell the way that they do. So see, while I was telling this long story, there's a history lesson here. That's why you're not supposed to eat catfish, and it's slimy and it smells bad. Okay. But to be honest, it's insane the way that as a society, we will look to things that are completely inaccurate and not real to make ourselves feel better, because as a society, we just want to feel good. We have no loyalty. And I've said this before, we have no loyalty to our families. We have no loyalty to our communities, and we have no loyalty to this country. And that is how you get these people. And like, this goes both ways. I know that we're jumping on the women's necks right now because that's who's being brought to the front of the congregation this episode. But this is how you get here when there's no sense of duty for anyone. And And I mean, I've already told you, women and children are the only ones who get to be happy, period, anyway. And now we've taken it to the umpteenth level to where happy ain't even happy enough. These chicks are saying they're doing 80% of the stuff. Well, like, if you're taking care of the house and he's going and competing with other men for resources, that sounds pretty much like 50-50 to me. You're literally doing half the stuff because you're not doing any of the work. Do you think the work is easier? Do you want, ladies, and I mean, this is an honest question. And I went and hung out with a friend today where we were walking around and like we had this conversation. She's a very left-leaning woman, nice lady, but she was talking about the system and how everything's a patriarchy. And I was like, yeah, everything is a patriarchy because when it comes time to do dirt and people got to die, we know who goes and does the dirt and dies. Are you advocating to do that? Do you want to be trash men? Do you want to be building skyscrapers and buildings? Do you want to lift 50-pound bags of concrete and move stones? Is that what you actually want to do? Women are so much better at men that at most things that you isolate in and think the stuff that we're good at, which results in death most of the time, is easy. Like you really think that the stuff, we don't even want to do this shit, ladies. You want to take the helm? I'd be more than happy to let you, except for that means that then we'd get taken over because literally other men would go, oh, the women are running shit over there and that's who's defending the country. Cool. We're going to go take that shit. I mean, one of the things we talked about, she was talking about it'd be nice to see community policing. And she was like, diverse group of community policing. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Except for everyone would get robbed on the day that the women were doing patrol. I mean, honestly, I'm not a criminal. I would go rob those people. I'd be like, I'm taking all this shit. Get the fuck up. Boop, boop, get out of my way. Shut up. I'm taking this. Don't call nobody until I'm gone. Like, this is ridiculous. Because when you call the cops, who do you want to show up? It's not a strong, empowered, independent woman that you want to come resolve your problem. You want the burliest, most brolic man possible to show up to fix the situation. Expeditiously. Let's be honest. Like this. So for them to go, oh, single women, well, now you're putting yourself in a man's space that you do not have 5,000 years of I'm just going to go work and die on that level to compete with. It's not fun. It's not going to be cute. It's not going to be interesting when you're sitting there alone, unable to lift things. My bones aren't getting brittle when I get older. Yours are. You ain't even gonna be able, you're gonna fall down once, it's gonna be over for you. And ain't nobody gonna even be there to pick your ass up. Like, you're just gonna be laying there in your own filth, which you was probably walking around with your pH off in your own filth to begin with, but like now you stewing in it. Like, for God knows how long till somebody comes hit you. Start taking out stock in medical alert immediately, because it's gonna be a banger coming up here pretty soon when these women gotta live by themselves and fall down. They need somebody to come get them. Hell, I can't get up. Like, this is wild, man. This is wild. The osteoporosis is gonna set in. You ain't even gonna be able to open your phone. Like, it's terrible, bro. Your thumbprint ain't gonna be the same. It ain't gonna recognize your face because it's gonna be droopy. Like, I'm saying, get right while you can. And I'm not trying to scare nobody into doing nothing that they don't want to do, because literally you don't have to. But also, when you get old and brittle and can't pick shit up and fall down and break your hip and die, don't complain about it. Like, die silently. Matter of fact, like, when you know it's time, go outside of your house. And I want you to think back to the days of the conquerors. I want you to look to the left and to the right and find the nearest patch of forest that you can see. And I want you to just start walking into that forest like the strong, independent woman that you are. And I want you to go die alone like a cat. And don't make it a problem for anyone else. Just go into the woods and just lay down and stay there. That's the respectful thing to do. I mean, cats do it. Well, y'all at least as independent and strong as cats, right? Go do that. Go be away. Like, because these are all decisions and you have the right to choose whatever you want. But I don't understand how, if all of these strong, independent, single women have such great lives, how they keep making these videos where they're sitting alone in a room looking dysgenic.
She walk
And-
on roll.
Yeah, they're just not they're not looking happy. It's never the woman going, "Oh, look at me, I'm out exploring the forest and I'm just happy and look at this beautiful scenery and this life that I curtailed." It's like, I get to drink at 9. You're an antisocial dysgenic fuck with an addiction problem if you're drinking at 9 a.m. I'm just gonna say it. Like, that's not cool. Oh, I get to drink whenever I want. So your life is an alcoholic. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for elaborating on how wonderful it is to be like, are you also doing drugs? Like, is that awesome? Like, we know these things are stupid. You're not functional. You're living a dumb existence and you have an addiction problem. And these chicks will get on there and be like, yeah, Queen Slay, you getting it. Like, you're literally poisoning yourself and you're going to die from cirrhosis of the liver. Congratulations. When you turn yellow, like, I'm not going to feel bad. I'm just going to call you the banana bitch. And you're going to die. It's like, I hope they don't give you a liver because you don't deserve one. Because you did that to yourself. Being strong and independent. It's called a natural consequence. And I honestly am going to land the plane at, I hope everyone's ready for their natural consequences. Because what women have done is they've literally, y'all are equal now. Which means that you get the natural consequences that men get, only it's going to sit different with you because you haven't been getting them since your balls dropped. So enjoy your new balls, lady. Plastic truck nut's going to work out for you. Make sure to tuck them up into your G-string straps so that they hang appropriately under your skirts and sundresses. And try not to drizzle on them because, like, we don't want tuna fish smelling truck nuts. Have a good night.
I wear cornrows. Only reason why you wear cornrows is because you got a brother on your arm. If you didn't have a brother, you wouldn't have no cornrows. Brother on my arm, no brother on my arm, no brother on your arm.
You know what, Ray?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame on you, Ray. Shame on you.
But where did he lie though?
The banana
he
bitch.
lied. He ain't saying not one lie now. Now, to move on to the topic of the evening. I know y'all been waiting on this. Black David. It is time for our feature of the evening. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Under the child support office by myself. I'm behind on my child support and he's gotta go with me because I ain't got no pennies. My car's been repoed off the church parking lot. That's my story.
This is the story. That's the story of most black men.
Because this is not true.
Well, now she got the mask off.
I apologize from the bottom of my heart.
It's not true. Yeah, okay.
To test it out.
To test.
I need to hear you. I need to hear you clearly. The little Kirk.
They never want to hold themselves accountable for nothing. Never.
The results of these two tests. That's what I need to hear. Yes.
Never. See? Now she got her mask back on. See? Kirk, kick her to the curb.
Is that going to put a wedge between you and I?
Yes, it should. Yes, it should. Yep.
If you can't give me this, no hug.
Yep.
No word of encouragement.
Yep.
No sugar.
Yep.
No joke.
Yep.
Nothing can substitute what I deserve.
Yep. Exactly. Even the auntie got an attitude.
The DNA. The DNA. The DNA. Yes. I need my mom. And I need my son too.
No, you don't. You stayed lying to him.
If my mama watches this, I want her to know.
See? Eye. It's all about the eye. Yeah, man. You see his face? You see his face? You see that face? That face is what black men go through every single day. Whether you have a father or mother, this is how we feel every single day when we go on TikTok and we see all of these memes and funny jokes saying we ain't shit. You got some dumb bitch scamming people because she got hit by a brick, and all of you gave $40,000 to her, and it was a scam. This is how we feel. This is how we feel when my father was denied a father because my grandmother felt she needed to raise my father because she was bitter and angry, took my father away from my grandfather. My grandfather searching for years to find his son. He didn't find his son until my father was 40-something years old. And by that time, my father didn't want nothing to do with him. Why? Because of women like this. And no one checks them. So we have black men walking around just like this. Angry, depressed, sad because of the world. The world knows that we are leaders. But we don't know because our aunties and our mommies and our grannies said we ain't shit. We ain't shit. Our hair is nappy. Our hair, we're ugly. So when you get 18, I better get me a grandchild. You better give me some grandchildren. 18 years old, go out the house. Get out the house. Go on your own because you want to be grown. This is how we feel. I'm not even going to talk about the so-called systemic racism, which is bullshit, but this is how we feel. Look, mothers, if you're doing this shit, stop. Stop it. Stop it. Tell your children the truth because you are ruining generations.
Just to give y'all a little background on what y'all just saw, because the volume was kind of low on the recording. Basically, what happened was Kirk Franklin had a DNA test from a gentleman who gave him a swab and says, hey, do with this what you want to do with it. So the guy had 2 independent DNA tests done, and it came back 99.9999% that this gentleman was his father. Now, the whole time, this guy was thought to be, a friend of the family or uncle or whatever, or whatever. But the guy he buried, he thought, was his stepdad. He really never knew who his real father was. So what Kirk Franklin did in this clip was he confronted his mom and said, hey, I just want you to tell me the truth. You know what I mean? And he gave her the DNA test, 2 separate tests from 2 separate places. And it says that this man is your father. And she said, no, it's not. So my question to you is, Kirk Franklin's mother rejected the results of 2 DNA tests and held on to the lie. Kirk is 53. Should he just get over it? Ash, we'll start with you, darling.
You already know that's not something you can get over. Like, I don't understand. If you messed up, you messed up. Like, that right there is a wedge in our community that these men have to deal with that can't be repaired. Because if you don't went your whole life thinking that man B is not man A, which is your father, that messes with you mentally. But then they want to sit here and lie. That's what I do not understand. Because on Facebook, they had the little clips of of that show or whatever, and you just see the women like, there's nobody else. But the DNA say it was somebody else. Like, why are you lying? My thing is, we grown. Just say you was having your hot girl summer. You were being old thotty. Mr. Charlie is really Mr. Eddie. To me, I don't understand why women, us as black women, can't stand on our mistake, but yet our children pay for it. Like I said, the same way I'm joking and talking about my personal business with y'all is the same way I talk to my kids about it. Because it's not their burden to take on my trauma. I did it to myself. I chose this. And for her to sit there with 2 different DNA tests from 2 different establishments and still sit there and lie and then want to play the victim as he's supposed to uphold her. No, that's not right. That man is forever wounded, and that trickles down to how he deal with other people. That's what people don't understand, the breakdown when it comes into family. The Bible right. Whoever wrote that part where men and women supposed to raise the kids, that's what needs to happen. that breaking down and not raising these kids right, not showing them that, hey, we can be adults is the reason why we are divided, is why we can't stand together, is because you got the woman being mischievous over something. It's in the Bible. Eve did something. What she was over there playing with the serpent and bit an apple. She wasn't even supposed to be touching it. But we don't have to follow that. That's the example of us not doing it. And I just feel like his mother should apologize. And that's one thing I always try to do when I'm wrong as a mother, apologize to the kids. Because it don't matter what I do for them. If I can't be an adult and say I'm wrong, that scars them more, especially when they ain't done it. He ain't had nothing to do with that. You chose to be fast and sleep with all the men, or however. You know, this is wrong. And I just feel like if the angel was sitting there, you should have said, hold on, bitch, you told me. We're going to have a different conversation. You have to get a little chastising, because I'm not going to chastise him. Because he didn't do nothing. He innocent. That's why I don't understand, like, how these women make these kids pay for their mistakes. And the babies don't have nothing to do with it. They have nothing to do with it. They're innocent. They innocent by all means, but yet you couldn't keep your legs closed. Now you mad at the world and you blaming somebody instead of trying to fix your mistake and just owning on up to it. He should take whatever time he needs to, one, understand who he buried, two, try to make amends with the man that's actually his daddy. Then if he feel like coming around to that mama and that auntie, then he feel around. If that's when he on his deathbed, so be it, because that's wrong. You making that man pay for a mistake that he had nothing to do with. It's your fault. It's your fault.
Mm-hmm. Ronan, it's on you, man. Kirk Franklin, 53 years old, man. Just found out that his mom won't admit to the fact that this gentleman is his dad. Should he just get over it?
I would ask, how can you get over that? Because how can I look at you the same when the person that birthed me can't even honor me with the truth? What if I have a medical condition that only my father can amend? Where did I come from? Who am I connected to? How do I know I'm not marrying my first cousin or my sister that I don't know of? How's it that I could ever take anything you ever say seriously anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And I say from personal experience, I mean, I have a cordial relationship with mine, but how it came to that, I learned very early that our relationship is transactional. Hearing these songs saying about ain't nothing going on but the rent, basically, if you don't provide financial support of any kind or at their disposal, you're not worth having a conversation with. So your pride supersedes the need to abolish these whole trick and hoe relationships that we're fostered in. Because we as sons, we're talking about, if you don't have anything sustainable, you can't afford to lease my loyalty. You can't rent my respect. So you get evicted for a while. They do psychological things as far as like stall you out with conversations, or even think about the conversations they have behind your back around family or even people outside of it. And don't have the nerve to have a woman who's about something come about. They'll try to shame her out of there and say like, no, she's no good, with knowing she can set you free with the prison your mama put you in. The thing that really bothers me is like, if you are that ashamed of what you've done, what do you think? What lessons can you teach your children about owning the situation that you created? Like, if you have the ovaries to sit there and like, look, this and that happened, blah, blah, blah. I know you're upset, but I want to earn back your trust because that matters to me. Rather than, you're old enough now, get over it. You will lose them. You'll never get them back again. And I always ask, what is it worth it? And you've seen a lot of these so-called single mothers suffering now because, let's say you go to a hospice. That's where they're going to throw you. They don't even want to deal with you. They don't even want to keep you in the house, because usually that's what we would do, like make sure family here, they got love here. But if they can't trust you or deal with you, like, hey, let the medical people take care of you. We'll just dispose of you when it's time. We'll let the kids see where they came from, but I'll leave the kids here to talk to you, but I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette, or just I can't stand the sight of you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better to keep a face for everybody else while you lie to their face to the children that they birth. I don't know if abortion is worse than that. And I'm just speaking in real time because it sucks as a son to see your mother as the first hardest heartbreak you have in your life. And that cuts men deep. That's why you see a lot of guys saying and doing the things they do online, because like that trauma is tough. And some ways you get around a circle of people to help you get through that, but it takes a long healing process. A lot of things you got to work and they grow in spite of you rather than because of you.
Right.
So like I said, this is tough. I wouldn't know what to say if I was in this situation right here. I wouldn't be able to speak to her. I couldn't even be around her. Just you'd be lucky to get an email or a live, FaceTime, because I just couldn't be in the same room with you. It'd just be a misunderstanding because like you just, or even saying that before I lay the plane, it's like mothers got to be mindful of how they sit there and talk at their sons rather than talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder why they go off to the TV or they sit in the car for 15 minutes to an hour. They had to go get a drink or two because they experience emotional homelessness from the house.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the husband. They see what you do to the husband. See you run their father away. They see this. They hear the same things you say to him or cut him down. And even as a son, it's humiliating to see catch your father crying in the car because he doesn't know what else to say or do. Feel like he's a failure. He told me that he felt like a failure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many who's so selfish who don't even think about the collateral damage they create. Like figure, oh, they'll get over it. But what are you teaching your sons and your daughters? That's why some kids fight and get some little instances because they see what y'all do it because it's cool. So yeah, I mean, situation like this, I'm a bad actor. You'd hear my mouth. You'll hear something disrespectful come out, and it'd be rightfully so.
Thank you, Ronan. And before we get started, I'm going to thank Lady Navoa and take heed to the message. They gave me my first super chat. So first Cash App. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with the Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Hey.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And you know what? I got something else for y'all. I got something better than that. Hold on.
Well, we're moving on now.
Yeah. To a deluxe apartment in the sky. Thank you so much, ladies. I really do appreciate that. So we're gonna move on to Reckless Ray. Reckless Ray, come on, man. Shit, man, just get over it. You know, his mom's not gonna tell the truth, man.
I mean, that's the narrative that the sisterhood would like to push, and I don't normally bag on people specifically as far as the groups go because the stuff cuts both ways, but I don't know of a single scenario in which a father has taken a child and hidden them from the mother and lied about who the mom was. I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's happened. It might have happened once in a million times. I'm sure there's the outlier out there, but I'm going to venture to say that nobody's going to bring this to my peer review because that's called kidnapping. That's actually what that's called. It's illegal, and then the dude goes to prison. So, considering that that's not possible, I mean, this is just a travesty. Like this is the type of stuff that, like they said previously, like you're sending men out into the world wounded. You're sending them out in a weakened state. You are sending them out crippled and then telling them that they better perform for you. I mean, this is the type of stuff that literally, like when you wonder why the umpteenth percentile of men who have the ability to date out do date out. A lot of men have this type of trauma and they can't stand to look at women that look like their mothers. They don't want to deal with women that share the same complexion as their mother. And it's not necessarily one of those deals where it's like they don't like black people, but I'm like, if you get this type of trauma in your body and like you got to take that L your whole life, and you know that this woman did this to you, then how are you going to look at other women if this woman who's the closest woman to you has the capability to drive a knife this far into your soul and then release you into the world and say, you got it, you good. And then on the back end, when you find out, sit there and take no accountability and want to dance around it and have revisionist history, and in the face of blatantly being like, you're wrong. Like, this isn't a scenario where it's like, I think this guy is my dad. It's like, I know what this is. I know what the information is. I need you to tell me, to give me closure. And she can't even give him that. And he's given her everything he has, as you should. You got a responsibility and a duty to the people who came before you. But to have that level of disrespect for someone who gave you your existence, because he completed the mission. He came back and gave his mom the lifestyle that she couldn't sustain on her own. He went out and competed for resources and won. He went to battle with a knife in his back and competed for those resources and won, and came back and gave her the kingdom that she believed that she deserved. And she sent him out there with a knife in his back, and he did this. And now she can't even give him the closure. The closure on, I've lied to you this whole time. I have done harm to you this whole time. And she can't even give him the peace of having it come from her mouth like, yeah, that's what it was. For what? This is and like, this goes deeper than that, because like, this goes to the lack of respect that black men have within this community. Look at how y'all look at the black men you make. Look at how you look at them. You made us. And look at how you look at us. Like, we don't deserve shit. Like, we know we're supposed to go out here and show up, show out, provide, and die. But you literally, y'all, the men that you make, you don't believe deserve shit above yourselves. Again, back to the loyalty, back to the sense of duty. You wonder why this culture is crumbling. This is what y'all really do not give a fuck. You don't. You say you do, but you don't. Like, at the end of the day, you don't. And this is the type of stuff that shows emphatically generations back. This ain't a new modern women problem. That man's in his 50s. Y'all ain't been giving a fuck for a long time. You just say it now. And are fine about it and are championing it. But like, think about that. This young man went out and did what all black women said. Like, you got to go show out for the culture. Come back, take care of your mama, set her up. His mama was the one who drove the knife into his back. That's what you think you deserve? That's what you think is right? That's what our sense of duty is? Then yeah, this community is doomed to fail. We will never win. We will never compete with any other community. Period. We will forever be at the bottom because we deserve it if that's what you're putting out into the world. You are putting out bad seed into the world. Bad, weak, dysgenic seed. And then you're gravitating towards the excuses because you don't want accountability. And you wonder why we are losing. You wonder why the top tier of those of us who do make it through this are dating out and dating people who share a value set that we're espousing to have. You wonder why. Like, you guys better get used to seeing a bunch of Reckless Rays and Patrick Mahomes run around this bitch. That's all I gotta say. Like, because if this is what we're doing as a community, I mean, I come from a single mother household and we just didn't talk about it, but they didn't blatantly fucking lie and try and tell me that somebody else was my dad that wasn't. That's unreal. Unreal. Especially these are pillars of the community that are going around with these wounds. So what is everyone else doing? Again, we're looking at the top. Like Kurt Franklin is a pillar within the community. The spiritual community, that man's been putting on for y'all for forever. His mama done stabbed him in the back, gave him a wound for his whole life, bro, and won't give him closure about it. How do we win if that's what we're coming from? Because God knows what's happened to that man's kids. Because we know his kids have problems. So this isn't just him. He's wounded. He's wounding others. Those kids are going to breed. They're going to wound others. When does it stop? How do we compete if y'all sending these young men out of the house with wounds on the inside that we can't get to? Just walking around hurting all day in pain that can't be fixed. How do we fix that? If that's the way we're launching people into society, like it doesn't make sense, especially if we're talking about we're going to empower and we're going to work together as a community. How do you even have a community? And when you wonder why Black people don't trust each other, this is why. This is why. Like, this is how we got, like, this actually is very telling because, like, this is generations before us. Like, we're seeing the trickle effects of the Kirk Franklin's generation. It's wild to me. It's wild. It's like watching a puzzle come together and going, oh, so this is what we've been doing. Well, makes sense that we're having issues.
Take heed. Let me ask you a question, darling. What do you think Kirk Franklin's mother should say to the little Kirk inside of Kirk Franklin about this situation? Not the 53-year-old Kirk, but the little Kirk that's in the inside.
I think she needs to go. She should have got up from the table. Okay, I don't care if they was filming her. She should have got up from the table, walked over to her son, and hold this man. I don't care how old he is. She should have got up from the table and hold this man like this man was a baby and whispered in his ear and told him, Mom, my dear, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I am so sorry for what I have done to you. I'm so sorry for me giving you up for adoption. I am sorry that I didn't know who your father was. I am sorry. But you know what? I'm going to share something with you. In our culture, Black women don't like accountability. That has been since my grandmother time. Mm-hmm. Okay? That has been since my grandmother time. They do not like accountability. When the rooster comes home to crow, they will not call it. They would say that's a cat. They won't even say it's the rooster. Okay? And when I watched this video, Lost in Translation, when I watched this video, okay, I went to his actual YouTube channel. When I watched this, baby, I cried, honey. I cried like a big baby. I was in my husband's living room, and because my studio was in his living room, and I cried like a big baby. Okay. When I went to work, I had to replay it again. I was crying in the car going to work. I said, wow, this woman can have so much courage to say, just because this is courage. This is courage. Because Dana has never lied. Do you hear me?
Not one time.
Dana don't lie, honey. Everybody could lie, but Dana will not lie to you. She could never lie. If somebody say Dana lying, they need their ass kicked. Dana can't lie. She doesn't lie. When it come back, baby, if it come back that he the daddy the first time, baby, 1,000,000 times he gonna come back being the daddy. So now they got 2. And she couldn't confess that she did some nonsense. Had this boy believe that he buried his real father in 2017. Okay? And then Mr. Rick is his real father. And you know what? I'm going to share something with you. Social media is wicked. Because I was on an influencer page. I won't say his name. There was other influencers inside in the comment section saying that, oh, Kurt went too far with that. He overplayed his hand. So I wrote in the comment section, I don't care if you got a star by your name. I don't care. It don't make me no never mind. If you saying nonsense, I'm gonna say something. So he gonna say, yeah, Kurt played his hand too far, man. He shouldn't have been crying like that. Let me share something with you. When men hurt, we act like, oh, he's weak. He's weak. He's nothing because he's hurting. But if a woman find out this nonsense or she lied about it and she start crying, oh, everybody, so they want to cater to her. This man deserved to have cried. He even deserved to have fell out on the floor because he thought he buried his father in 2017. But all the while, his daddy was a couple of blocks away, not even a couple of blocks away, 2 or 3 houses away from where his son used to go play with his friend. His youngest son lived in that neighborhood. The youngest son's friend lived in that neighborhood. So when Kurt was picking up his son, he could have ran into this man and not know who this man was. But everybody want to sit up here and make it seem like, oh, he went too far, being all that screaming and everything. What was he supposed to do? Because a man like that, when you hurt like that, he could have bust holes all in the walls of his house because he was hurt by what his mama did. And then his mama couldn't even tell him the truth after she found out that Dana told her 2 times. Dana said 2 times he the daddy, Mr. Rick the daddy. And you sitting up here talking about Dana lying. Dana has never lied. She has never lied, baby. You might say everybody else lied, but Dana don't lie. And that broke my heart. I was so angry and upset for him myself because, and I shared on my channel why I was angry and upset. Because let me share something with y'all, and I'm not going to keep y'all too long. But I was a teen mother, okay? And I had a child that's 29 years old, okay? My son is 29. He got his family, everything. He's doing good. I raised this boy the best way I know how, because that's what Black women say. I raised this boy the best way I know how. That's what we say. I raised him the best way I know how, gave him everything, spoiled him. But you know what he needed? He needed his daddy. But I was so mad with his daddy. Why was I mad with his daddy? Because I was the side chick. His daddy didn't want me. His daddy wanted me as the side chick. Okay? So now I get pregnant with his son. Mess with him 2 years. 2 years mess with him. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to start doing my own thing because he got somebody. I'm going to do my own thing. Why am I happy behind? Go out and start messing with somebody else. Then get pregnant. And now trying to figure out who is the father. Okay? Because your happy behind don't know how to sit down. Why you want to be a side chick in the first place? If you would have waited and kept those legs closed, would you have that problem? See, sometimes I got to talk to myself like that. And when I got older, I learned how to take accountability. Okay? Got older. Now, matter of fact, you know what? A little bit, maybe a year or 2 before I met my husband, learned accountability. That changed me. And then I had to learn some act right and how to talk. And my husband taught me that part. So now, when all this thing hit the fan, okay, I went and told his father, I'm pregnant. And he looked at me 2-sided like, no, because you the side chick. I told you we not gonna have no children. So now I go to the one I've been creeping around with and tell him. So he was more excited about it. So I left it as that, right? But rumors was coming to him about, oh, I think she pregnant by so-and-so. She not pregnant by you. So what does he do? He come to me and asks questions. And what did I do? Start crying. I'm a teen mother now. So I'm crying because that's what we do. We women, we cry because we want to get out of the nonsense. We cry. But this young man was like, no, we need a DNA test. So I knew in my heart who was the father, but wasn't sure. So instead of me confessing the truth, I hid the truth. So now my son gets 9 years old, and the second man who I claimed him as the father. Okay. And see, in New Jersey, you can't write nobody's name. In New Jersey don't play. See, y'all, the other states, y'all do nonsense. But Jersey don't play that nonsense. If the father don't sign that paperwork, okay, you in trouble. Now, if you marry, it's different. Because you can sign your husband's name, nobody say nothing because that's your husband. But if you don't have any proof that he the father, baby, they will not let you put nobody's name on that birth certificate. A DNA got to be done. So now this brother come to me. We grown now, early 20s, maybe 20. I was probably 20, 21. He come to me. He said, we got to do a DNA. We got to do a DNA because everybody keeps telling me that this boy getting big and he ain't got no father and this and that. And so this is the time when I had to put my big girl drawers on. And I said to him, this is what happened. So he said to me, why didn't you tell me when we were younger? I said, I was scared. I was scared to tell you the truth. He said, okay, well, at least you told me. Let's go get the DNA test done. So I can find out if this boy is mine. So we go and we get in front of the arbitration. Arbitration man said to him, said, this boy is not yours. So he looks at me and I cry a little bit. And he touched me on my shoulder. He said, we gonna talk on the way out, going out of the courthouse. He said, listen to me. You turned into a good woman. All that nonsense we used to do when we was kids, he said, I see so much in you. We should get married and raise this boy as our own. And you know what I told him? I said, no. You're a good man. You're a good man. You don't deserve to live a lie. You don't. That's what I told him. You don't deserve to live a lie. I'm going to go to the one I was doing nonsense with for 2 years and go tell him that I need to do a DNA with him. Now, mind you, me and the brother that I was with for 2 years, I was his side chick. So there's no way he wanted to have anything to do with this boy. Now, is he right? He's right. He's right. Because I put myself in that predicament to be the side chick. You feel me? Instead of me trying to go find somebody who wanted to be with me. Okay? But because somebody looked fine as wine, you think that that's who you're supposed to be with when you're doing nonsense. Okay? So now I go tell him. I had to find him, go tell him. And when I say me and him clashed like titans, we were ready for war. Because I'm his side chick, and now I'm bringing him a child that's 9 years old. So now we go get the DNA test done. And this time we go in front of the judge, because this is how you know that this man is the father, when you got to go in front of the judge, because the judge is ready to issue all out orders on this man. So now we go get the paternity test done. He's the father. The judge said 99.9, this is your son. So now as we leave the courthouse, he told me, bitch, I told you I ain't want no baby with you. I told you I ain't want no baby with you. but yet you brought me one. We're going to see how this play out for you. And I ain't going to say what I called him. I ain't going to say what I called him. I get indignant sometimes. God forgive me. I get indignant sometimes. So now we already draw the line between each other. So what did we do? Now, since you and the father dislike each other, what happens to the child? The child gets split in both ways because the child wants to know his father. Now, if he was raised with me all his life, he wants to know his daddy. So now the dad he asking the daddy questions. Okay, he asking the daddy questions. All right, of how all this happened. So now what happens? The father start telling the child what really happened. What happened, why me and your mama ain't together. And this is the thing that Black women don't understand. That when the father have to tell the truth to the child, all your demons come out. Instead of you going and doing the right thing, all your demons come out. Now, this is when the father tell the child, your mama was the side chick. Your mama was the side chick. I was just sleeping with your mama. We wasn't in no relationship. I ain't even want no baby with your mama. I'm not saying he said that to him while he was young, but when he got older and got grown, this is when you start telling what really happened. Because when I got grown, this is what my father told me. Your mama was my side chick. I already had a family and I was raising my son and daughter already. And then she got pregnant with you. And he said, and my father told me, your mama was the most beautiful, light-skinned, Coca-Cola bottle-shaped woman I ever seen. And your mama she was one of those women that everybody wanted in the neighborhood. And so I pulled her. And I told him, well, Daddy, you was with somebody. Why you pull her? And he told me because she looked good to me. Okay? So now, the same thing, I repeated the same thing that my mama did. My mama was the side chick with me. I repeated that curse with my son. And I did not, I listen, the thing, see, sometimes as women, we don't understand what we do to these children. We don't understand. And I broke my son's heart by all this nonsense because if I would have chosen wisely, okay, and been patient and waited, okay, kept them legs closed as a teen mama, okay, my husband was eventually coming. But if I could have just been patient, all my children would have been made by one man. But we don't think that. And I'm going to share something with you. I feel bad for Kurt. I don't care who think that it's funny that he going through all this. I feel bad for him. And for a man to have cried in front of everybody and for people to think it's a joke. But when women do it, when they cry and they know they wrong, everybody run to the women, want to feel bad for them. But nobody felt bad for Kurt. I didn't see anybody say, my brother, I'm sorry. All in the comment section, they was like, oh, he did too much. He did too much. How you tell somebody that they father died in 2017 from cancer? He thought he buried his daddy. And then in 2023, he find out his daddy was alive and well with a family and lived well. It's wrong. But because Black women don't want to sit up here and be accountable for the nonsense they do, we think it's okay. But I'm going to share something with you, my sisters, and I'm reaping this benefit right now. The same story that I just gave y'all right now, I'm reaping from this benefit right now, from holding my child away from his father. You know what? My oldest son don't say Pete to me. He don't say she to me. Because why? Yes, I took care of him. Yes, I raised him. Yes, I gave him everything. Yes, he lived well. But what did he need? He needed that daddy that I couldn't give him. And this is the thing that we Black women, we miss. We sit up here talking about we can raise these children by ourselves. And then they come up and get grown with a miss. Look at Kurt Franklin, 53 years old. 53. This man said that He been in rooms with mega stars bigger than him. And him himself being a mega star, he said he felt like the smallest man in the room because of his insecurities of not having a daddy. People think that, oh, if you don't have a father, you'll be fine growing up. No, let me share something with you. You will not be fine growing up. I'm tired of women sitting up here lying, talking about you're going to be fine. No, you come up with a miss. There's a problem. Maybe you can't see it on the outside, but in the inside, there's a problem. See, children need that reassurance. And I say this on my channel. When I tell my kids something that they can do it, they're going to make it. You know what they get? Guess who they go to when I say that they gonna do it? You can do it. You can do it. I'm encouraging them, right? All they need is one word from their daddy. One word from their daddy, baby. They will tell you, they'll pop their collar and tell you just like this. My daddy said I could do. That daddy mean power, but people don't understand that. And that's why our community will never grow properly. And you know what's going to happen? All our black men just going to keep traveling abroad. Shout out to the passport bros. They gonna just keep traveling abroad because black women here in America don't want to understand the assignment. So what do the brothers do? They gonna have to go off and marry from different lineages, okay? And make those children African American. That's it. Take heed to the message. I'm done.
All right, that's it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Take Heed. Let that thing marinate for a minute. Just let it marinate for a minute. Y'all, this has been truly a fantastic show. We're going to wrap this up with the final thoughts. Ash, 2 minutes or less, Ronan. And after that, Reckless Ray. And then Take Heed. And we'll close this thing out. Thank you so much, all, for coming out. Ash, what you got? Tell the people how they can find you, darling.
You can find me on Instagram at 360.diva. Humble Dad's podcast on Monday nights. I guess this is my other new home for Sunday nights. If y'all have me back, I'll be more than welcome to come. My takeaway for tonight is start telling the kids the truth and understand that black men are more valuable. We need to start encouraging and uplifting our brothers because whatever the situation is, the kids do need a daddy. And I'm all for a daddy being a dad because at the end of the day, I can't tell them something from a man's point of view. I can go find a man and tell them, but it's nothing like that coming from their daddy.
Right. Thank you so much, Ash, for coming out. It was a pleasure having you this evening. Ronan, final thoughts, and tell the people how they can get in touch with you, man, how they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook, Ronan Martin, or Instagram at Ronan_redacted. And my advice is you got to be very mindful of what you're putting into your children because those seeds will come back to root and you will have to reap that harvest. And be mindful of the circles of influence you listen to. So if her wisdom is not stronger than the stench of her dildo, cut her loose.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, sir. It's truly been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you on Super Sunday once again. Thank you so much. Reckless Ray, give us your final thoughts and tell the people how they can find you, sir.
So my final thoughts are this. Unless I'm gonna give you guys a little piece of history to walk away with. The way that this world was formed, the way that you got the air conditioning and the computer that you're on right now listening to this, the internet, all the nice things that you like are the result of people with a sense of duty that had families conquering individuals. Individuals do not win wars. Individuals do not build societies that last. Individuals are constantly at the behest of those who have families or some sort of grouping, some sort of group cohesion. You will always be at the bottom. You will always be a loser. I mean, even in business, we ain't navigating as individuals in business. We out here, I got a team. I've got multiple people that are well over the millionaire mark that are pouring into me. And you know how they're navigating? As groups. We're doing business amongst ourselves. We're doing business amongst each other. And being the broke person in the group, they're trying to get me up to where they are because they're sick and tired of having to pay for my shit. like they're like, move on up, man. We need you to catch these bills. And that is the key deal, because all of this breaks down into people who are individual minded, navigating in a society where that is allowed. You can only live like this in a first world country. You would be put off this planet. You would be destroyed. You would be conquered. You would be doing something for somebody that you probably didn't want to do and not even getting no change for it. You're just doing the strange as an individual, because that's what happens to people who are not built to compete. And as humans, our advantage is our ability to work as a cohesive group. We are not working as a cohesive group. When you look at these stories and these horror stories that are being highlighted, these conversations that we're having, these all go back to there has to be a sense of duty. Like Ronan said, there has to be a rite of passage. That's part of a sense of duty. That's part of a community as you navigate through life. Men should be able to specifically, if you date a dude and he can't tell you when he became a man, he's not one yet. He's an adult-aged boy. That's a liability. That's somebody who has no sense of duty. That's somebody who's not going to be able to. I mean, you might get lucky, and he might do what's necessary if what's necessary comes to be, and he might step into that role, and that might be when he becomes a man. But he also might collapse because he's not a man yet. You don't know. Rolling the dice. And we're going to leave it at that. Individuals are always conquered and always manipulated and always driven by groups. Individuals don't have power. Individuals are weak. This is your boy, Reckless Ray De Niro. You can find me at Reckless Ray De Niro on most platforms. We're live every Thursday for Guns and Butter. I got 2 uploads. We talk about the money over there. We'll get your finances set straight. And just remember, individuals are conquered by groups, people. So y'all keep running out there, being individuals all you want. There's groups out here, and we moving, and we will conquer you.
Thank you, Ray. Once again, it's always been a pleasure have you on the show on Sundays. Thank you so much. And last but not least, to our wonderful guests, take heed to the message. Give us their final thoughts and where the people can find you and reach you.
So first, I want to say I never want to be a single mother again. Second, I want to say that I have a king that gave me his covering. Next thing I want to say, I'm proud of my last name. The other thing I want to say is that I am obedient. And then the next thing I want to say is that I love my king. And I don't want to be on no boat with a whole bunch of women talking about I hate men. I don't want to be on that boat with y'all. I don't want to be on that boat with y'all, okay? When y'all decide y'all want to leave the men, I want to stay with my king. I don't want to leave nowhere. I don't want to go nowhere with y'all. I'm not on the boat with y'all, happy with y'all doing that nonsense. That mommy community. I will not be doing that with y'all. Okay. Then I want to say shout out to my king for saving me from the streets. Okay. Because I was close to the wall. Okay. I was like 2 to 3 inches away from the wall. He pulled me back and was like, no, you're not a baby mama. You are a wife. Okay. Took all those labels off me and labeled me wife. And then trained me to be his wife. Okay. So just shout out to my king. Then I want to say I am Take Heed to the Message on YouTube. Okay. I don't sugarcoat nothing. You want to follow my channel? Please don't take offense to what I say. Okay. Now, if you're doing shakara and nonsense, you're going to take offense. And you can also find me on YouTube at I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Awan Abang 1973. And then you can find me on Facebook as Abang Awan. Okay. Y'all, thank you. And I appreciate it. Sir Hill, my hat is off to, well, my scarf is off to you, sir. Thank you for inviting me. Lost in Translation. I enjoyed myself. And to the panel, thank you once again.
As always, it has truly been a pleasure having you on. Take heed to the message. Thank you so much for coming and joining us this evening and gracing us with your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. And my final thoughts is this. We got to start telling the truth. You know what I mean? No matter how hard it hurts. Telling the truth only gets us to a point where we can actually do something about it. Our culture, for some reason, we have this thing where we like to blame one person or the other. But if you think about it, we all had our hands in this particular situation as well, and in all situations. So if we blame somebody else, then they are not guaranteed to fix it. But if we take the responsibility onto ourselves, then we can actually do something about it. And I'll leave y'all with this. Like I always say, we're always better together than we are apart. So I'm going to say this. You can always find me here from now on from Super Sunday at Lost in Translation Podcast on YouTube. Thank you so much. You can come over and subscribe. And we're going to continue this conversation. Y'all, we got a lot of work to do. Now, also, you can find me on Humble Dash channel on Mondays at 9 o'clock and 9:30. You can find us over there as well. You'll also find me working as well on Black Man Unfiltered on Tuesdays, on Talk That Tuesday, and even on Fridays at the barbershop on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. So we're going to be busy, y'all. We got work to do. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming out in the chat. Lady Navoa, Quiet Storm, Black David. Without you guys, we couldn't do this. And I also want to give a shout out to the one and only Sir Hale for making all this possible. Sir Hale, we salute you, sir. And thank you for allowing us to share your platform and to share your message. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
May I have your attention? May I please have your attention? Super Sundays. Yeah, baby. We're back at it again. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sir Hale Speaks Super Sundays. I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. We've been doing these shows for months now, and you guys have been showing up consistently as we take on and we tackle different challenges and different topics. So I appreciate it. But here's what we're trying to do going forward. We want to grow this audience to people who need to hear content like this. And so we need your help. How can you help us? That's a fantastic question. Be sure to make sure you hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell for all of the content that we have, particularly Super Sundays. All right, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you invite somebody to Sir Hale Speaks Super Sundays. We're getting ready to go in. We're going to have a good time. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to the show.
Go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. Countdown, levitate, going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate, on time, never late. I grind, celebrate, no pump fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day, champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now I'm stepping up home. Like straight out the sandlot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. I OD. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same fit 4 days. I grind 4 ways. I play no games. All me, no blame. On the wave, my own wave. Can't stop my shine. In the lane, my own lane. Can't stop my grind. 40 yard in the V12 and like 1.5. At 19, I cleared 19 in a month, no lie. Oh God. I was starving skinny, now my weight up. Got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam. Blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. I OD, apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 0 degrees on them. 500 degrees, go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast, go deep, I OD on them. I OD, apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 0 degrees on them. 500 degrees.
Young is coming to your live.